Why does it look like it? That looks like a fucking weapon. A nunchuck
It
vape.
does not look like a weapon.
Most of the vapes that I see people using are those kind of vapes.
Yeah,
Really?
it just looks like a vape.
Oh. Oh, do we just have more like a Juno?
Sure.
I think most of this is just battery.
Petrie's gonna probably get in a fight with
A cat.
a cat more than anything.
A small
that
cat.
fucking old ass dog finally has somebody to beat up, bro. Get off my territory.
No, he's the alpha. Gizmo's straight up the alpha. If they try to take his bone, they're the ones that back down all the time.
Petrie wants to play with you, Logie. That's funny. What are you? Are you a cat? I don't know what you are.
Thank you,
Oh my
Sophia.
God.
Thank you,
You're
Sophia.
smaller than all cats.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Around!
Nothing's ever gonna keep you down.
Alright, let's mic checks. Real quick. Check your mic.
A mic a check, 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 a mic.
Hello.
That work?
Say something again?
Mic a check, a
No,
mic.
not you.
Hello.
Check, check, check. Okay.
Schlong.
Which one did you end up taking?
Schlong.
Did
This
you
one?
just move yours? Or did
No,
you
I
take
just moved seats.
So you okay, so
That was already there.
this is your microphone,
This
I
is-
believe.
And Petrie's back under the table.
Intro?
What episode is it?
Episode 167, I believe. Let me check. Oh shit, we're gonna be at 169, dude.
69.
167.
Welcome to Thinking Outside the Long Box 2019 in review. This is episode 167 or something. One says 67.
Motherfucker, true.
I got the weird. Somebody could sit in if you want to at any point in time. Wow, alright, fuck you too then.
Oh, como esta?
I know. The fuck just happened?
Okay.
A cat and Petrie.
Jesus. Wow, we're recording though.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 167 of Thinking Outside the Long Box. This is our first of two year in review shows. Today we will be talking about our favorite trailer and our favorite movie of the year. Today I am Gabe.
Yes.
Well,
I'm on.
Yeah, only
is it
today.
favorite movie or favorite pop culture classic?
No,
next time.
Movie,
Oh.
trailer,
Pop
and
culture
movie.
classic will come next. Favorite movie of 2019. That's 2019.
20 Dickety.
Shout
Back
out.
when the Kaiser stole the number 20. We should definitely call
Who's the best?
2020 20 Tickety.
20 tickety 2. That's alright, bro.
I miss dog. I hate the dog.
No.
So, hey, everybody.
I hate stuff.
Let's
Hey.
start recording an episode.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
I'm recording.
Oh,
I mean,
that's-
we're already recording.
Doing it.
And doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
My favorite trailer. This was hard to
I do.
think about.
Put me on Skype and I'll be on the show.
Let's
I'll use two voices.
Should we read Tim's favorite trailer first?
Yeah,
since
let's-
he's not here.
start with that.
That little son of a bitch.
That fucking
Dr.
guy.
Dickie's giving you mail.
Favorite? He's
Yes.
off now.
He has
It's
diarrhea.
Sunday.
Yeah, he's off now.
He said he's got the diarrhea.
We're
Cha
past
cha
the
cha.
holidays.
Yeah.
He always has diarrhea.
Favorite trailer for that little bitch is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. He said, I remember seeing this trailer and just having the biggest, he
It's a
says
good
the
one.
bigger kaiju boner ever. I think he meant to say the biggest.
Probably biggest would be my guess.
I remember slightly embarrassing Alicia at the theaters by shouting, fuck yes, aloud in the crowd. What a nerd.
I don't know. I was pretty hyped about the Godzilla trailer too.
What did Marvin the Martian say? What a maroon.
What a maroon.
That needs to come back as an insult.
Maroon. Seems like a really low grade insult.
That's alright.
You are a weird color of red.
Christina Cagle said her favorite trailer was John Wick.
That's my sister.
Oh, okay.
Shut up.
Get out of here.
Just because Petrie's little.
And you can talk while I find Dom's, because Dom did say something just now too.
I think my favorite trailer this year, at least the trailer that got me like the most interested in like what a movie was going to be about, was Midsommar. Like the trailer, I really dug the movie. I know you guys didn't like it as much as I did,
I think that's what I was saying.
but the trailer itself was like, this is definitely a movie that I want to watch, you know, and that doesn't happen to me a whole hell of a lot. Where I'm like, yeah, this is perfect.
Dom said Ford versus Ferrari. That was a pretty.
Oh yeah,
I have
that's a good
zero
trailer.
interest in seeing the movie, but it was actually pretty good.
The trailer looks great.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your favorite trailer this year?
Mal wanted to raise her hand. Sorry.
She doesn't want to join in. She says she only wants to hang out with her friend, and that was us.
Oh,
So
I tried, Mal.
too late now.
Careful. I didn't know what that was.
Neither do I. It's on my shoulder, and I still don't know what it is.
Can I get there too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, man.
just making sure.
No, you're good.
They're not allowed.
No. Smaller children not allowed to eat.
So Mal, what is your choice from across the room?
Trolls. The new Trolls.
Oh,
I'm so
Trolls
excited
2.
for the new Trolls.
I
Her
don't
favorite
remember that
trailer is
trailer.
Trolls 2. It looks funny.
I haven't seen it. I don't think. I mean,
Try to guess
There's
what
a
my
mini
favorite
guy
trailer
grinding.
is.
You know what other trailer? Man, I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2019.
say it out loud and I'll tell you.
And I never actually watched the movie, but the trailer looked really cool. Was Mortal Engines?
I think that was
the
last
movie
year.
was not great.
Yeah, I can
It was
imagine.
2018.
But the trailer
The
itself,
trailer was amazing.
the movie came out in 2019.
No, 2018.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
then
remember
I,
us
I
talking about
rescind my comment.
I was
I
super stoked about that movie too, and then it was just like, wah, wah, wah.
Well, it's a Peter Jackson movie.
It had fucking awful reviews. Straight awful
It looks cool. Cities fight.
Yeah, I'm all about it. The city's
You don't see
fighting
that happen
part.
too often.
No.
One of the cities' name was Michael. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, what?
It's like in Letterkenny when they talk about how pets shouldn't have people names. Cities also should not have people names. This is my town. It's called George.
Oh, Brian. Brian lives
You
here.
still haven't said a trailer.
Oh, I was gonna say you should guess. It's currently out,
Oh,
starring an actor that you hate.
The movie is out or the trailer?
The trailer.
starring. Is there a new Tom Cruise movie?
There is.
Oh
There is?
no.
Yeah, Maverick.
Yes.
Oh.
No. I'm out. Fuck
Dude,
that
The
shit.
preview is so amazing.
It sounds like the stupidest idea.
Top Gun?
Top Gun 2?
Yes.
But you haven't even seen the
Named
commercial.
after, named after the dead dude?
Have you
No,
not seen
Maverick
the
is
trailer?
I
alive.
haven't seen the
I
trailer.
thought you saw it when it came out. We watched it at San Diego.
Goose?
I probably put it immediately out of my head.
Goose is
Goose is the dead one.
Maverick is alive and
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah, fucker.
Yeah.
Get your nicknames right.
Oh, I don't.
I don't even know if they're nicknames.
They're
That
call
might be
signs,
real
assholes.
names. Okay, I haven't seen Top Gun. So.
You haven't seen
Fucker.
Top Gun? Okay,
Neither
so
have
That's my next pop culture class.
yeah, that's fair because that movie was
He
pretty.
came out in anger. Did you see that?
That
Fucker.
that movie was a pretty big deal. Like
Yeah,
Top Gun was a
Yeah.
big deal.
You need to fill the need for speed, sir.
You mean you haven't ever ridden the highway to the danger zone?
No, bro. Straight to the danger zone?
What's the
Blatantly,
what's the
in your
love
face
making
sexuality.
what's the love making song?
I don't remember, but
Oh my gosh.
Bro.
Just dudes, oiled up dudes playing volleyball.
It's
Definitely
very-
not homosexual.
I did play a lot of volleyball in my youth.
It, not
It's
like
weird.
this. Not like this.
oiled
You
up.
didn't.
No, not oiled up.
there's a lot of
Did you do it oiled up on a beach with Tom Cruise? Because if you
Dude,
did,
I would have though. Had I lived on a beach, I bet you I would have been on the beach playing volleyball.
If you do it inverted, that's a joke you'll get once you watch it.
I
oh my gosh,
was like, I don't think I can be inverted.
sounds like a dare.
Pretty sure we can invert you.
Eric Hollis said Once Upon a Time. in Hollywood. You know, that was a movie that I thought I would like a lot, and I ended up not really enjoy. It was just so
I
slow.
still haven't seen it. I
Oh,
really,
really?
really need to.
It was decent, but it was just so drawn out to me. It just seemed really slow.
But that's like a thing Quentin Tarantino's been
Yeah.
working his way towards since Kill Bill.
But
He's
in the-
making like 4.5 hour long
I think
movies.
he's trying to get to the point to where only 2 to 3 people are still excited about the movie at the end of it in the theater.
It's gotten amazing reviews. People have loved that movie.
Yeah.
And for me, in the times where
Well, one of the
some of the comedic times and some of the action times are really good, but just everything that connects everything just seems very slow to me.
Really fun. Peter at work, he fucking loves that movie. Like,
Yeah, but he's an idiot.
he's not. Oh my god.
Get outta
This
here.
episode is gonna just be full of the dog barking.
That's pretty barking.
No, it's because
Yeah.
it's a pain in the
No, he's
ass.
barking at each
I know.
Oh, camera.
Oh, cameras, we're down.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
One,
Earthquake.
We're
Oh!
live. Now we're not live anymore.
We probably are still live.
What I
Yeah,
don't
we
get
probably
is-
are still live.
I know he's barking at Petrie, but there are 98 other fucking animals in this house. You think he would just be like, oh, it's just another one?
Spies in Disguise? What is that?
That's the Will Smith
Oh,
family movie.
The fucking bird movie.
Yeah, that
Oh, that movie
that
does
movie-
look really funny.
You know what his other movie was? It's not the best movie of the year.
Gemini Man?
Gemini
I
Man.
enjoyed that movie too.
I enjoyed it besides
wasn't-
the special effects are
Yeah.
horrific.
The youngified Will Smith did look a little out of place.
He looked alright until they fought each other, and then it looked like he
Then
was.
you could tell. You
yeah,
could
I
tell
was like,
something was
"Oh,
wrong.
What's going on here?
Spies in Disguise is a
It
great
does look really
trailer.
funny.
Stick to Aladdin.
I can't not look at you.
Stick to Aladdin.
Oh.
I didn't even watch that, but
I liked Aladdin.
Gemini Man was
We know
too
you
big.
I liked Gemini Man, but the
couldn't
the
get
graphics
past
were
it, dude.
weird.
Could
It
not
was
get past it.
But it's some of it. I think the youngified works
It was straight up
when
like
you're not
two.
playing against yourself. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
it's just they didn't get the movement down.
no,
Which is crazy because like when he's moving that fast, you probably didn't have to animate it.
You just straight drooled all over
Yeah.
yourself. That was weird.
Yeah, it was bad.
Just like.
I mean, young Sam Jackson looked good because he wasn't playing against old Sam Jackson, and that I think that kind of fucks up
Sure.
that movie. You
But
know what I mean?
it's, dude, it straight looked as bad as Blade 2 when he's fighting.
I don't remember Blade 2.
The animation in Blade 2, like I love Blade 2, but when he fights and they go all 3D, or not 3D, but
I have to
you know what I
rewatch
mean?
it.
It's pretty bad.
How about
that
you,
movie
man?
is fucking old. But this movie's not.
Mine might be tied. I actually agree with Tim. Godzilla King of the Monsters when it first came
Fucking
out
great
looked
trailer.
amazing. It
Yeah.
was probably one of the coolest, just visually looking trailers that I remember
And
seeing.
the movie is that way too.
Yeah, it really is, but I really don't have a ton of, I'm not a giant kaiju guy, and so that I was like, ah, cool, Godzilla, there's another one, but that trailer really brought me in to see that movie, and it's probably because why I saw it as fast as I saw it.
Nice.
But the other one was the final Star Wars, the first of the last final, the Star Wars
Cut it out.
movies. The Rise of the Skywalker, the first trailer for the fucking the X-Wing.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. It's coming right at Rey, and she kind of does the fucking boom and kind of goes over it.
And
Like,
like
that
she's
was a
gonna
really
cut it
cool
in half.
piece of the
Yeah.
And is not awesome and doesn't. He had a fucking lightsaber. Saber thing.
I thought it was cool. Shut up.
It was cool, but Gabe is right. The way they made that look, it looked like she
She was gonna just straight cut it in half. That's
Yeah,
what
she
it looked
just-
like.
Well, what's his name was in there, bro? She ain't trying to kill her brother, her boyfriend.
Right, they did that.
I know.
The Chinese chick, I don't remember.
What?
I don't say it
No,
louder.
the person driving in the X-Wing was Kylo Ren.
Oh, that's right. Never
I
mind.
was like, what are you
It's
talking
been a while
about?
since I've seen that movie. I still gotta watch the new one.
That is the
That's
new
the
one.
new one. That's
That is
what
the
we're
newest
talking
one?
about.
Fuck. Man, so it hasn't been a while since I've watched that movie.
Yeah.
It was like 10 minutes ago, apparently.
I thought that was from the other one.
No, it's from this one.
There's too many Star Wars now. There's just so many
There's
Death
only one
Stars.
this year.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the new Star Wars.
I am
haven't
too.
watched
I
it
just
yet.
haven't seen it yet. I tried to go on Christmas, but they were sold the fuck out.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Hannah, but Hannah broke the news to me that she just doesn't like Star Wars. So I took her to see.
So you punched her in the face?
No. What did I take her to see instead? Oh no, we went to Chuck E. Cheese instead.
Ooh, I do like me some Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, for Star Wars.
It's honestly one of my favorite places to go with the kids.
It's pretty,
Except their pizza's terrible.
I'll eat the shit out of
It's
the pizza.
pretty
I don't even care.
it is pretty gross.
I don't even care.
This is the
I had a soda.
They have beer there.
I didn't want to pay like $4 for a beer.
That's a dream of mine, though. Is just to get fucked
Pay
up.
$4 for beers.
To get fucked up at Chuck E. Cheese.
Pay
I got a family
$4
event.
beers.
Just be like, fuck off, kid. I'm winning these tickets on this Express Pay Plan Pass. I got 6,400 tickets.
Oh,
I drank like 35 beers.
We honestly get pretty close to like 2,000 tickets when we go. We dominate. At
Yeah.
everything.
Hannah
I just
and
want
I
to like own skee ball and just get fucked up while I'm doing it all day.
bring me another one.
Yeah.
Why is
Guys
that fat
like-
guy laying on the skee ball table?
This is my home now.
I threw up in the 800.
Oh, Jesus.
Ew.
Oh man.
That's funny. Well, I think that's all we have for trailers. I don't think anybody else has said anything at this point in time.
Nice. Well, be sure to. Oh, your wife texted you. We have been told.
Yeah, no, we talked about Spies in Disguise. That's who I got it from.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
You didn't hear it? Oh, we said it lould look funny.
I haven't seen that preview actually.
It looks hilarious.
It's a cartoon.
I
It's
just saw them
basically-
after Gemini Man.
It's
Come
basically.
sit down.
You're good. You're good.
Fuck your whole face.
Fuck your whole face.
No, thank you.
From ear to ear.
There's like
That's a good movie. We need to watch that movie too.
what's that?
Mortal Kombat.
Finish
yeah.
it.
That's what he says. From ear
I forgot.
to
Kano.
ear.
I love that movie.
Mel and I watched The Goods last weekend. That movie's funny.
What
I
was
don't
it?
know which one that one is.
Yes,
Car
you do.
salesman
It's the
one.
car salesman.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Bernie Mac?
Jeremy
Stay
Piven.
on.
Yeah, it's Bernie Mac in it too. Well, I watched a lot of Bernie Mac movies.
Yeah.
Well, two Bernie Mac movies.
R.I.P. Mr. Mac. R.I.P.
Such a funny guy.
It was
Why didn't you
very
come
funny.
through on the seance?
Jack Lang.
You want to come sit down, baby?
So is this thing on?
Yeah.
I think it's my dog.
Oh,
Hi, Very everybody. vicious
Oh.
dog.
Uh,
I don't feel good. What? So I actually saw a trailer the other day when I took Hannah to go see Jumanji 2, which you should see. It's awesome. It's funny.
Oh,
as shit.
so funny.
It's
Yeah,
so funny.
So
You know who told me it was super funny? Hannah, for like 25 minutes.
funny. Dad, this happened.
She loves Danny DeVito's character in it. She says
As
that's
the
like the
Asian
best
cat
part.
burglar, I love that.
Oh, the end, yeah.
Yeah. Bethany's a horse.
Anyway.
Anyways, there was a trailer at Jumanji 2, and you kind of you have to pay attention until you figure out what it actually is. It's like a sort of a sequel, but it's the new Ghostbusters movie
Hmm.
with their kids
The new
or like their
Ghostbusters.
grandkids or whatever. That looks super cool. Like Hannah was like, "That looks familiar. What are those suits?" And then there's like the Ecto-1 is covered in a garage in like an old barn, and they take the cover off, and this is Ecto-1, and she goes, and this is in a crowd of theaters. She goes, "Oh crap! It's a new Ghostbusters movie, Mom!" And the dude beside me goes, "I think you're saying like the movie," but it was a really fun trailer, and that was really cool.
The new Ghostbusters trailer does look really
What
good.
I like about the trailer is that it does not rely on Ghostbusters
At all.
Mostly, you know, there's the little things and here and there,
And
but
it
it's
literally,
mostly its own. At this point, it's mostly looks like it's going to be its own thing.
and it shows you almost nothing about the movie
Right.
other than
Absolutely.
kids discover that their grandparents were the Ghostbusters.
And Paul Rudd's
That's
in
it.
it, so.
And Paul Rudd is very funny.
Yeah, Hannah was like, "Oh, Ant-Man's in
Maybe
this.
one of
Is
my favorite
Ant-Man a
comedians.
concern?" I'm like,
Maybe.
Is
can I segue for just one moment about
Absolutely
that?
not.
No, this is actually really funny. I'm going to segue for just a bit. So we're watching the movie. No, you thought it was awesome the other day.
Oh, I popped my neck.
Hannah was like, "Ooh, Ant-Man's in that trailer." Then we're watching Jumanji, and Hannah goes, "Why does the redhead girl look so familiar?" And I'm like, "Honey, she played Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy." She goes, "Oh yeah, and she's Amy Pond."
Yeah, she was in Doctor
And then
Who.
she goes, "Oh, they're actors. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, they play different people in different movies. Hannah figured out what an actor
Like
is
Hannah-
this week.
And I had the startling realization of like what an actor
It
is.
was not a real person.
And so like everything that she watched where she's seen that person in something else, she would tell me, that person's in this thing. They're an actor. I'm like, I wonder though if there's like a little part of her that like if people aren't in two things, she thinks they're that person. So I don't know. It's
I
really
love
cool.
Yeah, but she just had that like epitome of, oh, they're acting.
Yeah. You know who doesn't love that?
She looked like Gamora.
Thanos.
It's true.
Thanos does
Wow.
not love Nebula. That's
Wow.
sad.
Yeah, Thanos is kind of a dick to this day.
Yeah, he does not get the
He
number one dad
appreciates
coffee cup.
Nebula.
Well, so segueing into the next segment, I guess.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what our favorite movies were this year.
So I'm gonna go
Do you
in.
want me to read the names or?
Sure, I'm gonna actually go into just highlight some of the movies as well,
Okay.
just to show you the amount of shit that came out this year. The Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Avengers Endgame, Joker came out, Midsommar, the new Lion King, Toy Story 4, Rocket Man, which I've heard really good things about, Spider-Man Far From Home, Captain Marvel. I love Dolomite Is My Name. If you haven't seen that fucking
I
movie,
want to really
So
bad. I just
funny.
haven't watched it yet.
so funny. Godzilla
It's on
came out.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Aladdin came out. Pikachu came out. Detective Pikachu.
That
Just
movie
came out on
did
HBO.
not live up to that.
Zombieland Double Tap.
Also
With Hobbs and Shaw, Men in Black. The Lego Movie, the second one, I think that was, right? No, the third one? Third one?
Yeah, I think it's 3D. Wasn't it?
I don't fucking remember.
They're Legos. They're movies.
No, the second part. It's actually in the title. The Lego, the second part.
good. Lego Movie, the second part.
Crawl, I think you said you enjoyed
Yeah.
that movie.
Hannah enjoyed
Hannah
it
really
probably more
enjoyed
than I did, but yeah.
Abominable. Ram.
Abominable.
Yeah,
Thanks, Abominable.
fucking Abominable.
It's Obama in the winter.
Rambo Last Blood, which I just watched and I actually really enjoyed.
Okay, we can discuss that.
You didn't like it?
Nah, I thought you were terrible.
Yeah, I liked
We all know that yours was Midsommar because you have such
it.
a hard on
Shazam
that
came
movie.
out this year.
It can't be your favorite preview and your favorite.
Wait, Shazam.
Shazam came out this
Is
year.
it like a remake of Shazam?
No, not the
The
freaking
movie.
genie movie. Shazam, the superhero.
Oh.
Oh,
I was like, I don't know what.
Did not get enough pop.
oh. I am tired.
That movie is very good.
Pet Cemetery came out. La Llorona, which is
Yeah.
the it's like a part of the fucking giant horror franchise that I can't remember the name of now.
The Universal one?
No.
Not Universal.
The
Like the one that's Annabelle, the Conjuring
yes,
one?
yes.
Oh, I
It's
didn't know that.
part of the Conjure universe.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Dumbo came out.
But did
A
it?
shit ton of movies. A lot. It came out. Chapter 2. A lot of really good movies came out this year.
A lot of really okay movies came out.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I feel like that's 2019. It happened.
See, that's kind of where I was at. Like, there are a lot of movies that I enjoyed, but nothing that like really blew me away too much. There's like, I think there's maybe like 2 movies that really, really like, I super liked.
I know the one movie I thoroughly enjoyed this year.
So for Tim, that
Fuck you, Tim.
dick ass piece of shit that
I
didn't
like
show
you,
up.
Tim. I'm sorry.
Even though we had it in the morning, which you've been requesting.
His favorite movie was John Wick 3. He says
I have
everything.
not watched any of those movies yet.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Neither have
They're
I
all
want
so
to, but I
good.
just I always
Like a
forget.
John Wick 3, everything about the John Wick movies is the absolute paramount of awesome. The vague but weirdly interesting universe it inhabits. The expertly acted stunts performed by Keanu himself. No stunt doubles. Knowing there are allegedly 2 more films in the pipeline
Ooh, 5
rustles
films.
my jimmies, it says. So,
Christina just said John Wick.
yeah, I assume John Wick 3. 'Cause she's-
Well, yeah, yeah, of course. Who else said something?
They're reading the comments first.
Doyle. Who are you, Doyle?
I'd say.
Not Doyle. Tom.
Oh,
Where
I was
did
like,
Dom?
Other fatty.
right here.
Dom said
He's just glad he
his
survived.
favorite movie is Endgame.
Oh yeah, I can't believe none of us. You didn't even mention that in your list.
I did. I said Avengers.
Oh, I guess I didn't hear it.
Hey, Dom.
Eric also said Endgame.
I loved it, but it wasn't my favorite.
Felicity would say Frozen too.
She would.
And that's all of the comments that we have. So some love for Endgame and John Wick.
Nice.
What was
Mel, why don't you kick yours off? Because you're
You
sitting
said
over
me.
there talking about what you already know what your favorite is.
Knives Out. I loved that movie. I saw it twice. I will go see it again. That was an awesome movie. I absolutely loved it.
I never heard of that movie.
So the easy
Do you need
thing,
a synopsis?
the easy thing that's a problem is that is my choice as well. Knives Out was genuinely
Why is
the
that a problem?
because we picked the same thing, so it's too easy.
Oh, do we finish each other's sentences?
Finish each other's sandwiches.
Yes, we do, by the way.
Yeah, I'll finish anybody's sandwich. I don't give a fuck whose sandwich it is. No, so Knives Out is a murder mystery, right? It has Daniel Craig. It has Chris
Ooh, James
Evans.
Bond?
Is
And
that?
Captain America?
Yeah, it has Daniel
Oh,
Craig,
fuck.
Chris Evans. What is the older actor's name that plays the guy that dies?
Oh,
He's super famous too.
shit.
Side note, while you're thinking
Anthony
of that,
No.
while you're thinking of that, I completely forgot the James Bond trailer looks fucking
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it
No
does.
Time to Die.
Yeah.
That's the other reason
Oh, so
Hannah
excited.
figured out actors. She goes, huh?
So I'm ready for him to die. Right?
No.
No. That's the other way Hannah figured out actors. She went, hey, that's that Southern guy from Knives Out. He's British now. And I'm like, no, he's always British, Hannah.
Okay, so here we go.
I like that.
It's got Don Johnson, who plays a
Oh,
closet
shit.
racist. Surprise! He
Oh,
plays
wow,
a
like
fucking
Watchmen?
closet,
Yes.
like Watchmen, like Django Unchained, like
Like
everything.
his real life.
Like
Doesn't
everything
be racist.
he's done in
Maybe
the
he's not
last
an
10
actor.
years. Christopher Plummer, Kathleen Langford, Jamie Lee Curtis, Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, Toni Collette, Michael Shannon. Like, it's got a ton of famous people in it. Frank Oz is in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Emmett Walsh, he's like a character actor.
Yeah, yeah. I know
Like,
who that is.
I mean, there's just a fuck ton of people in
I
it.
think
and
we had
it's
him on the 11/22/63 podcast.
nice. So there's like
Oh.
it's plays kind of like Clue, where there's like a mystery that is happening in the house, and Daniel Craig is the guy that's like solving the mystery. But it is also like Clue in the sense that it is very funny. Like, there's a lot of really great jokes in it. One of the characters, she can't tell a lie because when she lies, she throws up.
I mean, she throws
Like,
up.
throws up. So, like, so much of the movie is built around, is she telling the truth or not? We're about to find out.
Peter really wants that cat to play with him.
But I don't know. It was just a great movie. It's really, really fun. It's really well written, and it's like 100% something that I could watch with like any of the kids, like
Hannah's the one who chose it.
from Hannah to Bailey, because they're all gonna
No.
enjoy it because it's just entertaining.
This is
So
my big kid.
I don't know. It's really good.
I don't know if anybody's commenting on Twitch, by the way. I just thought.
Nobody's up.
I just never heard of the movie. I'll have to watch the preview
It's
for it.
definitely worth.
I don't know if
watching.
I've seen I probably have seen the trailer. I just can't remember it.
It's definitely worth watching, and like Daniel Craig playing a Southern dandy is pretty fun to watch. So
I like Daniel Craig. Fucking damn near everything he does.
right. How about you, man? What was your favorite movie this year?
It's such a hard one.
Hi.
Yes.
I think the Joker is my
I did
favorite
who's your big kid.
Still haven't seen it.
Super surprised more people haven't said that.
because I don't know. It's just a great movie from like beginning to end.
Yeah.
The story is amazing. I just love I don't love the like. But then again, I feel like this Joker lives in a different world than like the typical comic book Joker.
Right.
I didn't love the like whole explaining the Joker thing, but just seeing like a story of like an actual person becoming a villain and then knowing what that villain goes on to be a
To
part
do.
of later.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really cool.
Nice.
It was really like I thought it was a really cool way to show a different kind of comic book movie as well. That they don't all have to be like how much budget, how much big shit can we put in it. It
Right.
could be like a character study, you know, and we can actually just follow this. We can make
And what a perfect person to character study
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
and we can make like really good acting around these things that aren't like considered to be very that. I know the Joker already was because of the last joke. Well, fucking every Joker.
It was only there
really.
for like 5 minutes though.
All the Jokers are like that.
Every Joker's been pretty great.
Yeah. All the way back to Caesar
I don't
Romero.
think a lot of people like Suicide Squad Joker.
Nope, I agree actually.
I liked I liked the idea. I just didn't like the execution.
Me too.
very much.
I thought he would be in the
Yeah.
movie a lot more.
The idea
So
was
did he.
really, the idea was really, really cool. I just think they flubbed it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the problem. I think
he wasn't a crucial part of the movie, though, so I don't consider it.
No. What I see being the problem with what you just said is that I think so many people these days are like they don't want to see like origin story movies, and so people just don't do it a ton anymore.
See, I'm fine with origin stories. I just don't need another one for Spider-Man or
Right,
Batman
right.
or Superman. But like, you want to tell a Joker or
my favorite part,
Luthor or even like Green Lantern.
my favorite part of the Suicide Squad movie was Diablo's origin story. That was like the best part of the movie because it's a character that I wasn't very familiar with, and they were telling like his origin, and that was kind of cool.
How he murdered his family.
Yep.
Because he
I
got
didn't-
too loco.
I didn't say it was a happy origin story. I just said I liked it the most.
He drank
I want to
the-
see other movies
the
like
Tres
that.
Loco?
Like, they don't even have to be the Joker where it's all about the bad guy, but where the bad guy's taken that seriously. If
Right.
that makes sense. Story, it's not like a joke. Like Luthor's been like a joke in every movie they've ever done, but he's not supposed to be.
He's supposed to be serious.
And
He's
you
supposed
could
to be
make
a
him a
threat.
very good part of the movie. So I hope it continues the
I
trend.
almost feel like you've built up, unless they do something where it's not in universe, like I think Joker was. I feel like they've built up Superman to be too strong for a Lex Luthor in this space that we're in right
Right.
now.
Well, I mean, the only thing that like people have to realize with the Superman character is that he's unwilling to push himself past a point, and that's how he's beatable.
Yeah.
Like when they look at like the Batman, Superman, or like how Batman's kicking his ass, it's because Superman doesn't want to kill him. It's not because Batman can actually kick his ass.
Right.
Like at any moment he could hurl him into the sun. It's just like it's just
That's the movie I want to
Done with
see.
that.
I do want to see shit like that.
Bye, Batfleck.
There is a animated film where he just like loses it and like lobotomizes, starts lobotomizing his bad guys. And he's like, fuck this.
I'm tired of dealing with this.
That's cool.
How about you? What was your favorite movie, Juan?
Mine's predictable. I think Endgame is probably the one for me. But it mostly it doesn't have all to do with the movie as much as the culmination of such a giant event for me. And
Yeah.
it ended great for me. You know, that movie almost isn't really a movie without the first part. And so it's hard to judge it just by that singular
I would say
thing.
it's definitely not a movie without the
Well, and that's what I mean. So
I
it's-
mean, technically it is.
it's but it's hard because you know, I'm not judging it by just that. It really is the end of something that we've been moving towards for what 13 years, 12 years or something like that at this point. I liked Star Wars
We've been
too
moving towards the end of Star
for
Wars
like 50 years.
Yeah.
Hey, 40.
Before our
Like
birth.
40 something. Come on, guys.
Before our birth.
A close second to me, and we just saw it, was Reboot. I really, really liked Jay and Silent
I
Bob.
want to watch it.
That was
so
almost
good.
my choice because it was so good.
You have the moments where it's so funny, and then it switches, and you're almost crying because of the cool things that happen between him and his daughter, and it's a really good movie.
It's like
a
moving
really good
and
movie.
hilarious all at once in like the best possible way.
I really enjoyed Terminator 3 technically.
No.
Terminator new one.
It was the best. It's been the best since all the
Terminator.
other shitty ones.
Mexican Terminator.
Gabriel Luna. He's amazing. I like Gabriel Luna.
I'd say what? Mexican Derby.
Mexican.
I don't know if he's Mexican though.
No, he
He's
is.
Hispanic.
He might. I don't know. I know he's Hispanic. I don't know if he's Mexican.
I'm pretty sure he lives in Mexico.
I'm
if I
just saying
remember
I
right.
don't know.
That motherfucker was
No,
making
I'm just
breakfast
saying.
burritos and selling them on set.
I would have eaten a Gabriel Luna fucking breakfast burrito.
I would too, just crazy. It's just some Mexicans do that at their jobs, and I don't get it. We have them at our job. I'm like, motherfucker, we work 7 days a week so long, and like you go home and then you make fucking breakfast burritos to bring back to this place.
I don't know. I like Toy Story 4. I liked a fucking lot of movies this year.
Toy Story 4 was on my short list, but it did not.
He was raised in Austin and lives in Mexico.
It's not better than
Oh,
Joker.
so he's American.
Both of his parents were from Mexico and lived in Austin when he was younger, then moved back.
Also,
Mexico.
a movie called Fast Color, I think, that was on my short list. Super good.
Never heard of it.
Greener Grass was on my short list too. It was like an IFC Dark movie that was like super
Oh, I think
super
we got a
weird.
screener for that, right?
Yeah, it was about like it was about people that live in this like weird perfect world, but it's super super fucked up. I don't know. It was a really good movie.
Stepford Wives-ish.
Very Stepford Wives plus weirder.
I'm surprised you weren't all over the Midsommar thing.
Oh, I remember we talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
I never got to see it.
That's definitely in like my top 3 favorite
Hellboy
movies.
came out this year.
Yeah, that's not in my top.
Yeah. I saw it in the theater and it's not in my top.
They abused my trust in that movie.
It was like so good.
We lost Ron Perlman for this.
It was so good, but then all of a sudden the CGI in it was just garbage. Like it looked 10 years old.
That
It was
movie
so
just
bad.
It had nothing that the comic books offer you, which is like there's no hut like between like I don't know. There's no BPRD. Like there's nothing
There's
about
nothing
it.
about it.
It's
Yeah.
like they put this witch back together effortlessly. Like, I want to get about this fucking movie. It's so bad.
I don't think we
They
have really
randomly
discussed
killed
it.
He
Hellboy.
ranted about it when he watched
God,
it.
it's like they did it. To me, I feel like this is what happens when like nobody gives a shit about what they're working on, and they didn't bother looking into the source material,
At all.
and they just got a paycheck.
Yeah.
I can't believe that anyone in this who made this movie loved Hellboy because they know nothing about the character or how that
Except for maybe David Harbour.
maybe.
Because he came across as like a really good Hellboy just with like awful script and everything else
I
about
didn't
it.
hate his Hellboy, but I still think Perlman's was better
I do too.
and less of a fucking pancake fake. Like I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember you ranting about this movie.
His acting was good though. Like he was not at all the worst part or any part of the worst part.
The worst part of this movie absolutely was the special
was
effects.
the conception of this movie.
Oh no, that was the worst. So should we touch on some of our least favorite movies?
So I was gonna. Variety has a thing out right now that's biggest box office hits and biggest flops. Because the other one that when you guys were talking is Glass had a lot of hype to it, and I don't think people liked that
People
movie
did
all
not
that
like
much.
it very much.
I was like very middle road on it. It was alright.
But for there's a few of them. Avengers Endgame had a budget of $356 million, and it made $2.79 billion.
Would it be?
The Lion King was made for $260 million, and it made $1.6 billion. That made a lot of money. That's fucking weird.
It's a lot of nostalgia. A lot of people just wanting to see a new Lion King and walking out of the theater like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I actually watched that like literally, and it's why I can't even get behind watching the other ones. I just sat there going, this is why the first one was better during that part.
Yeah.
That's why the first one was
I
better
don't
during
ever do
that
that when I
part.
watch remakes.
Well, I don't either when the remake is like a slightly different movie.
No, that movie was exactly the same.
When it's shot
The
like
Lion
scene
King
for
was
scene.
exactly the same.
Yeah, I was like, well, the original song's way better. The characters are better. Like,
I think that's why you'll enjoy Aladdin more because it's not the same movie. There are things that are a little bit different. More. I didn't say.
No, they
I
did
didn't
bring
say.
us one of the best TV shows of the year. So
Joker was made for $55 million. It made $1.06 billion.
yes.
Us was made for $20 million. Made $255 million. Once Upon a Time in
Did
Hollywood.
Us do well? Because Us, I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
fell
Us did
short
really well.
in a lot of people's eyes.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 90 million made for 372 million made. See, that's not a giant.
I
But
mean,
because
it
that
made
the
money, but
production
it's-
budget does, I don't think includes your advertising budget,
I don't-
which is generally equal to your production budget,
They
which is
spent
fucking
no money on
crazy.
Joker.
Yeah,
Compared to all
none.
those other ones.
And it made more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix made peanuts.
Doubt that.
Yeah.
Really doubt that.
Like millions of peanuts.
Let's look at some flops. Dark Phoenix, 200 million just for the budget, made 252 million. So you guarantee that movie lost money.
I feel like they just should have known it was going to. Like, that whole series has just been, like, slowly I would have just stopped. Like,
They're, the only reason they're making them is to maintain
the movie
the rights.
isn't good, but it's nowhere near as bad as people say it is. But, like, that was just on such a downward trajectory that it's like it wasn't going to do well.
Like again, they're just making them to keep the rights. They don't give a
Well,
shit
now
if
it
they
doesn't
put a
matter.
good or bad movie out. Yeah, now it doesn't matter because Disney owns them.
Yeah.
But
Cats, that has been a colossal fucking failure.
Uh,
$100 million to make, it's made 10.9 million, which is
Oh.
still a high fucking number to me.
no, it
looks
hasn't made
fucking-
10.9 million.
Well,
that means
it's
it's lost $90 million.
Yeah.
And dude,
Just in the budget, like I said,
Just-
advertising. is
just
huge.
the articles about the bad reviews are hilarious. Like, I mean, just reading how people are responding to the movie is
One of the actors came out and was like, "People don't know what they're watching. This is amazing."
no,
like,
no, it looks so bad.
And think about how little money the mob kills people over.
That's
That movie lost way more money than
Gemini Man was made for 138 million, and it made 173 million. It recouped its production budget, but stands to lose 75 million.
I don't understand Hollywood math when like to me, if I spend $20 and I get $40, I didn't still lose money somehow.
Well, no,
Hollywood
the
does.
production budget is just what it takes to make the movie.
So why don't they
and they
just
don't
give me
ever
the
in-
budget of how much money they spend releasing?
because
Yeah.
they don't tell you that.
Yeah, I've never seen
They should.
included advertising on top of that.
They should.
Because it's like so variant, like in markets and stuff like that.
I
and
know,
it's
but you
hard.
could just tell us. Just like
I don't
it
think they
cost
want
us
us to know.
$380 million for this.
The awesome return of Clint Eastwood to Hollywood was made for 45 million, made 9.5 million. Richard
Which
Jewell.
This
What
one was like a
movie is
drug
that?
runner.
Richard Jewell. It's where he's the security officer and they think he planted the bomb that killed a bunch of people, but he ended up not. It's based on a real person.
The Olympic bomber.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Huh.
He got real serious in his later years.
Some of his
Some
movies
really
are
good
good.
movies.
Some of them are fucking
Really bad.
Yeah.
I love Gran Torino still.
Yes.
Yes.
Up there.
That's pretty. That's the biggest flops and box office hits.
I haven't seen most of the flops.
No, it's nobody has.
Like
We all watched Glass, I think.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
It's worth watching.
I haven't seen Split.
I think you should watch it.
Split is
I just
fucking
oh
amazing.
fuck! I just closed everything.
No.
It was worth the watch. It just wasn't. It didn't live up to the hype.
Oh,
Of
Spider-Verse
Split
this year?
was fucking amazing. Yeah. Yes.
If Spider-Verse was this year, I don't know. That's up there with fucking Joker.
Dude, that movie was great. So what do you think? What were some of your least favorite films that you watched this year?
I don't remember off the top of my head, honestly.
I try to forget.
I tried to
things
bring me
don't like.
too, and so I'm trying to. I just closed every fucking window I had, but I tried to bring up all of them so I could be like, oh fuck, did I like that movie or not? But I can't honestly can't remember.
Like
off
all
top
of the
my head.
flops you mentioned, I don't think I've seen any of them.
I don't, but I don't want. That's the thing is I don't want to usually.
Yeah.
Cats looked fucking awful.
Yeah,
It
there's
looked horrible.
I don't
The
even-
only
I don't-
reason-
I haven't even heard of this.
the only reason I would go to see it is just to make fun of it for the whole movie, and I'm definitely not paying money to go do that.
The longest
That's right.
running Broadway show ever, and
It's
it
made into
in the middle of its run, they had to take it back and try to fix the graphics on it, and then put it back out into theaters because they were getting such bad reviews, and it just looks
it looks
terrible.
terrible
Didn't that
and
happen with
terrifying.
Sonic the Hedgehog before they released it?
Well, that was before it.
They
released,
they
so.
released the trailer and everybody's like, "Wow, that looks awful," and they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, we better
All
fix
right,
this."
we'll listen to you guys.
Except for Cats, they were like, "Wow, that looks awful," and they were like, "No, it's gonna be amazing."
Is it like the Broadway play just in
It's,
a
Yes.
movie?
No,
an
I mean, it
adaptation.
it is the same story, but they have like fur instead of
I
like
can't believe you
cat
haven't
suits.
seen this.
They have human
Face
faces.
trailer.
Oh, it's
I can care
terrifying,
less
dude.
about cats.
It just looks awful, and like the plot of Cats is fucking boring and terrible to
I
start
saw
out
it,
with.
and it's fucking awful.
It is like so many of the reviews were, "How was this popular ever?" Like,
You know, a Broadway show is good. Lion King.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Not
the
on
live
Broadway.
action movie wasn't
No, it wasn't.
that was
They
garbage.
should have just filmed the Broadway show.
One of my favorite Broadway shows is Chicago. Such a good show.
I do love Chicago. I also like Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I don't really like Chicago. It's a shitty place to be, and people are
Oh,
shitty to you there.
That's true.
Bye, Chicago fans.
Hey, they know. They live there. They know.
They have pizzeria downstairs there.
The food is fucking amazing. The
Yeah.
food is
They
good.
do it.
That's from my backside though.
Pizza's
Nice.
so good.
It's delicious. Giordano's pizza.
It's actually not even pizza.
I like
though.
Giordano's pizza.
Just like a casserole
Yeah.
with pizza toppings in
Straight
it.
up casserole.
I am going to murder all of my animals. I'm
Your
done.
mind's not working.
I'm done having
Although
pets
she is
right now.
antagonizing.
Yeah, I was trying to put the cords for these together, and they were trying to bite them. I was like, "Stop it, you fucking cat!"
Oh man.
I think that's it.
I think that is
I
it.
think we're good.
So we're gonna wrap this episode up, and we will come back in a couple days where we'll talk about our pop culture classic, Life. Or are we doing the second half of the year in?
To me, it doesn't matter. We always do the pop culture second.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about our pop culture classic, Life, Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence,
Bobby A.
Bernie Mac, a bunch of other people. So fucking hilarious movie. Can't wait to
About
talk
go eat
about
some
it.
cornbread. That's a lie.
Yeah, you can't have my cornbread.
Motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread.
Anyway, this has been episode 167 of Thinking Outside the Long Box. Be sure to find us on the internet at www.totlb.com, which I have been told means it's an old man thing because I say www. But
I told you that.
I know, I think it's
I was like, why do you
hilarious.
keep saying www?
Because it's fun to say. I don't know. It rolls off the tongue.
http://
TOTLB.com. Find us there as well as our new pinup calendar. You can find that in the shop section. It is very, very cool, and we are getting the first of them here in just a couple days. So, I've been Gabe,
I am still Doyle.
Yeah, I'm one.
and this has been an episode of Thinking Outside the Long Box. Talk to you soon.
Next episode, Gabe will be Gabe.
I'll still be Gabe.
Hey, Abe.
Gabe.
Dave.
Bye.
Dave.
Everybody thinks I say Dave.
Dave's not here, man.
Want to get some food real quick?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Why didn't you make more?
I'm good.
Careful, the dogs have tried to take them straight out of your hand.
Wait, I was here.
No.
I thought I was dead. I don't remember that at all.
I did a shit ton of extra and then that was the next one.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. You're allergic to fabulous.
Go back!
That's how fast you should get stuck in my cake. I'm not gonna be one of those.
What's up?
Showing up.
I know. Don't even smell it.
Deep tissue. I may swap your laptop out since it's fully charged here pretty soon. To
Oh,
charge mine up
yeah.
a little bit.
You can unplug whatever's over there too.
It's the camera.
The camera's there's no.
Oh, it's the soundboard.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
I was like, there's no plug-in for the camera.
No, that's the laptop, dummy one.
Do play.
It was Felicity's and then it became mine.
This plate's getting a lot of usage.
I'd suggest getting a cleaner fork.
Oh, Pazzola?
No problem.
No problem.
Gotcha.
You want my glasses?
Huh?
You want my glasses?
No, it's in a weird cursive.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a weird font.
Strawberry bananas quite nice.
Yeah.
Still don't taste it thus far.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Smoothie?
The juices.
They're kind of smoothie-esque. I mean, they're not. They're not smoothies, but
V8? Oh.
they're not. They're not V8.
I don't like V8.
It's not tomato juice.
Oh, it has remnants of tomatoes in it, Doyle. I don't think it does.
It definitely doesn't.
That would be disgusting. Oh, there's pomegranate.
Strawberry, banana, tomato.
Strawberry, banana, tomato, spicy.
That's it. How about I turn y'all in and make pie?
37 miles, you said? It is.
It's groaning.
He's not excited about being a refrigerator anymore. Fuck you and your food.
Peach, mango, pineapple.
You gonna eat?
It's just hard to get around Doyle.
That's not what I said. I'm just trying to be polite.
No, but it's hard to get around him.
I didn't say it.
That's why I pointed it.
Gabriel's the mean one.
Last time I was frustration. That's all that. Sweet habanero.
It's alright.
Never understood like super low everyone has habaneros. They don't taste that great in my opinion.
Oh, I think they do. I like that they're kind of like spicy but sweet.
Is that how you live your life?
Spicy but sweet? Yes.
No game. 1/4 mile at a time.
I'm spicy.
I definitely don't live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
You should. It's a good life.
Fucking Devin was playing the
4 lifetimes you can go 1 whole mile.
Devin was playing the scene in Fast and the Furious when they're praying to like the car gods.
Yeah.
And Devin like was back in Fast and Furious. Great.
There's a fucking TV show now on Netflix.
I mean that way they can make 37 more of them.
More money, more money. Ready? Intro?
Sure.
Intro.
Here we are at the kitchen table eating our breakfast, and this is episode 168 of Thinking Outside the Long Box.
And this week we teach Juan how to use a table.
Where colors are allowed.
I mean,
Oh, damn.
there are 3 colors at the table.
We're light colors.
Still colors.
And we're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 168 of Thinking Outside the Long Box. This is our pop culture classic episode where we will be talking about 1999's Life, starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, Bernie Mac, other peoples.
I don't know if any of the other people are famous.
I think some of them are.
No,
What?
Definitely. Like the guy who's like narrating it, his younger self. I mean, I don't remember his name, but I know he's been in a lot of stuff.
Let's look at the cast. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Oba Baba Tunde is
Damn.
really long. Ned Beata
Ned
is
Beatty.
Dexter.
Can't get right, but it's some other things too.
Bernie Mac, Miguel A. Nunez Jr. is Biscuit. Clarence Williams III is Winston Hancock. Oh, he's the fucking. Oh yeah, the shit. From fucking Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
Barry Shabaka Henley is Poker Face. Brent Jennings, Guy Tori, Nick Cassavetes, Bokeem Woodbine. That's can't get right. Anthony Anderson. Oh yeah, he's famous. Michael Talafruno, he's not famous. Santa Leffen. I don't know who that is. O'Neill Compton, Noah Emmerich, Rick James. Rick James is in this movie? I didn't know he played Spanky.
Oh,
At the
I
very
didn't know that was
beginning.
Rick James.
I had no idea. That's kind of funny. Those are really the big hits. I mean, there's some other people, but those are really the big names. Not a ton of famous people in there.
Just a second.
And these are the sounds of Gabe murdering his dog.
Wow, the critics did not like this movie.
Which is weird because it's a really good movie.
It is really good. It does have a hint of depression throughout it, but
Oh,
it is
yeah.
still good.
It is sad.
50% from the critics, 77% from the audience. And that's 50,348 people who've seen it.
A lot of people have seen this movie. I assume a lot more than that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Otherwise, this movie made tens of dollars.
It might have.
So, this was kind of your pick, Juan, so tell us why you picked it.
'Cause it's funny. But it's a
It's a funny movie.
it's funny.
Yeah.
That's why. No, it's set in
Next
the
episode.
set in the 1930s. It's about two guys who they get sent on an adventure so that they don't die from a club owner to go to get booze. They're what the fuck do they call those people?
Bootleggers.
Bootleggers. There you go. And then they get framed by a cop for killing a black dude.
Right.
And
that had just robbed him.
That had, yeah, kind of. Is it Rob? Is it Robin?
When you cheat
When
at
you
gambling,
cheat at
you're robbing
gambling.
someone. Yeah. For sure, that's robbery.
And then they get sent to prison for life. And that's kind of where the escapade started. They're in prison for the next, like,
I think it's like 60 years, 50
Yeah.
years.
It's a long time.
and they do a lot of trying to get out and escaping and trying
Getting
to,
caught.
they have harebrained ideas about how they can get out and shit. It's just funny. That's why I honestly, that's the reason I chose it. I love the movie, but it's fucking hilarious through the whole time.
Who drew this map?
Yeah.
I drew this map.
Was Cookie high when you drew this?
It's the best part about this movie is that it's very, like, it's saying something like kind of important about like history and like the history of like, you know, what it meant to be like a black person in like the 30s through like the 80s basically.
Yeah.
But it also, like you said, top to bottom, like every moment in the film is funny. There's jokes just, and these people are dealing with like the worst situation they could possibly be in with like the best humor ever. I do like that there's like a 28-year span where the two main characters just straight don't talk to each other.
Hey, I just want to tell you, I'm sorry that your mom died.
That's 5 years ago,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it.
It's because it's one of the sadder moments in the whole movie, but you feel good that while they're teetering on the fucking bottle tops, you know, they're having this moment together
And they
where
get to
they're
become
still
friends
best
again.
friends.
Yeah.
You know, throughout whatever the fuck they say they're not or they are or whatever, they're friends through the whole time, you know,
Mhm.
and that's the very touching moment there in the middle where you get to feel that a lot more.
But again, they deal with like this bad situation by reconnecting as friends and dealing with it with humor. Like they're joking. you just got to balance right. You know?
So stop talking to me.
Every
Oh,
time you're
my
talking to me out
toes in the bottom.
oh damn it.
I fucking love this movie. I don't. It's hard because I don't have a ton. I'm not mouthy. I'm not wordy. You know. So a lot of my picks are in the sense that like the reason I chose it is because I like it. It's funny. That's really the end of it. You know. It's not anything really deeper than that. Even though I think there are deeper tones to the movie. I just really like the movie. You know. If you're basing this whole segment on me, it's gonna be 4 minutes. You know.
All right, cool. Let's move on. How about you? Did you get to watch it?
Mhm.
Good. Thank God. We all watched it this time.
I've seen it before,
Yeah,
but I
not
still watch it
Tim.
again.
Yeah. He's not even here. He's not allowed to have an opinion.
Even when he is here.
Oh, whatever. What'd you think of it this time through?
Like I said, it is funny. It is sad, like the whole way through. I don't know. It's a very niche movie in that way because it's not like, to me anyway, it's not like super laugh out loud funny.
Right.
It's just funny, like genuinely throughout. There are a few moments that are made up there, but to me, it's like I don't know. It's not very typical Eddie Murphy humor.
Oh,
really.
I think it is.
I feel like he usually goes for a lot bigger laughs than this. I mean, it's definitely Eddie
I don't
Murphy
So-
style to where he's like constantly jabbering and
So I think it's
saying stuff, but it's very, I don't know, neutered to me in the way that he's usually like attacking jokes a lot more.
I think some of that has to do with the fact that he's not the only main person. You know,
that
Mark
he's having to
Martin
play
Lawrence
against
Sure.
Martin Lawrence.
is a lot more tame. Even in his stand-up, generally, he's a lot.
I'm not saying
more
it's a bad. I'm just saying.
No,
it's
no, I
just
know.
how it plays off to me. But
Because when you see like a Martin Lawrence and Will Smith movie, the Bad Boys movies that are coming out, those are crazy over the top because that's kind of Will Smith's
Yeah.
comedy persona.
Mhm.
But I guess what are some of that over the top for Eddie Murphy? Nutty Professor is kind of like
See,
that.
and I think that's what it is that it's an older Eddie Murphy movie.
Right.
So his
what are
comedy
the other
was,
older Eddie? Because Beverly Hills Cop's like that too. He's like way over the top, I think.
but he is, but it's not.
Golden Child.
It's not the same way.
I
Like
don't think
it's
he's
not.
really over the top.
I
that
think
much
he
in
does a
Beverly
lot
Hills
of.
Cop.
I think now he does a lot of like really stupid humor, and in his old movies he did very smart humor and knew how to play a character that wasn't Eddie Murphy. Like he was actually playing like a different character.
I think a lot of the bigger laughs in like Beverly Hills Cop are all subtle jokes to me. I don't think that a lot of the bigger laughs for me are the over the top stuff.
I'm not saying
You
that
can
it
keep
is.
it.
I'm just saying to me that's how it comes across.
Right.
I don't know. I think we're in disagreement there because I think Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy in everything that he does. I don't see that much of a difference.
I just
Like
I
from like
genuinely
Raw
think,
to his movies. Beverly
I think
Hills
this
Cop.
movie he's playing a character. I'm saying of all of his movies, this is the one that he is like acting in probably the most that I've seen.
I would agree with that.
Somebody else said they liked it. I can't remember who. Fuck. I'd have to go find it. I think it was Dana.
It's a
Who?
pretty hard movie to dislike. I think 'cause it is good.
She said she liked the scene when we were talking about the song, the upper room. I don't give a fuck if they shoot me. I'll be up in that bitch singing the upper room.
Like I said, when he reads letters, still the best.
Oh, that is funny. Anybody else want me to read something?
Nah.
We're good. I don't know. Like I said, if it's you're just basing this whole segment on me, it's gonna be short. I loved this movie. I chose it. I remember. I don't remember it ever coming out. I remember watching this movie with my brother on base in California when it had just come out on DVD.
So I have a very similar situation. I don't remember this movie coming out. I just saw it on TV
Yeah.
and have loved it ever since.
We were there for Thanksgiving, and it had just come out on DVD. And I think he went out and rented it, if I remember correctly. And we watched it while he was in the army.
For our younger listeners, you used to have to go to a store
Yeah.
and rent a video.
And you almost inevitably owe some kind of late fee.
It's probably because you didn't rewind the shit.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Are you a non-rewinder?
No, we had like one of those super fast rewinders.
Oh,
the race car
yeah,
one?
you
The
just
one
put
that
it
looked like
into
a
a
race
different
car?
That's funny.
So this movie I saw like some Sunday afternoon on like TNT or something, and I think I missed like the first part because I didn't remember the first part where they meet with Spanky. Like I knew that he had like saved his life somehow, but that he was still pissed. But I don't think I ever saw like those first like 5-10 minutes of the movie. So really, all I ever saw was like the drive to get the moonshine, and then the murder, and then them being stuck in prison. And so this movie though has all. I started watching it. I started laughing, and I was like, oh man, like all these people, they're really cool, and it's so sad that they're there and they're innocent, and then they're about to get pardoned. And the dude that's gonna pardon them fucking dies, like
The old man, he just shot somebody, bro.
And just like the way it just kind of goes until you get to that like final like ultimate happy ending, it's awesome. Like it was a cool movie when I saw it, and as a consequence, when people ask me like what's your favorite Eddie Murphy movie, or do you like what are your favorite comedies from like the 90s, this is almost always one of the ones I really really like.
This is kind of a newer, grumpier old man for me.
Yeah.
Because that's all they do through the whole fucking movie.
It's just
is bicker.
argue. Yeah.
They're like two fucking old ladies. Just and when they're at the baseball game, they're arguing about something they can't even remember what they're arguing about.
What were we arguing about?
Yeah.
Who cares? What a great day for football game.
Go the Yankees. It was funny. Have you seen the outtakes? Did you stay for the outtakes?
Yeah, I watched the outtakes at the end too. I feel like this is you and me when we're like 8. I am definitely
Hopefully
Martin
not
Lawrence.
I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, we won't go to jail. We definitely won't be asking for Mexican pie.
That shit sounds gross.
Yeah.
It's just Frito pie.
Is Frito pie Mexican pie? Is that what that is?
It is now because I want Frito.
What is Frito pie? Chili and Fritos?
Chili and Fritos.
Like,
Like,
at your house, sir.
Well,
you bake
I
it.
just had chili with Fritos in it. I didn't know it had a name.
Frito pie.
This movie's hilarious. Like, if you haven't seen it, you definitely should be checking it out.
Another sad part, Johnny, I forgot, while they're not talking, Johnny asked me what this was, because there's a time while they're not talking where people are disappearing.
Yeah.
And it's because they're dying.
They're dying.
And so that I forgot about that part, but it was hard to tell. They're dead. They've been in this place so long that you're starting to see these people who you've connected with just disappear.
The only way out is going through the morgue
Right.
and up into the cemetery. Like,
But it's a cool way. It's a clever way while time is passing of showing that these people are dying. Without just being like, oh, they died.
and they show them like age.
Right.
Like they show them aged and then they fade away. And you even have that moment where the guy that's like the trustee, that even though he's like an ass to him, he's not always an ass to him. So when you see him disappear, you're even like, oh man, like that kind of sucks. He was such a big part of their life, even though he was kind of a piece of shit Tony. So
I like Hoppin' Bob.
Or when he says when the foreman says that they're gonna move to the mansion.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I won't. He's like, I won't miss you at all. And then he gets choked up because
he's like, every morning, I hope that you guys have died in your sleep, and every morning you disappoint me.
But it's nice. Like you get to see that, like even though they're in like such a weird situation,
Prison has changed.
oh yeah. They've just been a part of each other's lives for such a long time that they've developed a relationship, and it's interesting. Like it's an interesting way of looking at that whole thing. Like
When they're talking about the gun line, that was funny too. Johnny repeated it back to me, but when they're talking about it, I think he says, if you take a piss over the gun line, you will be shot.
Yeah.
And Johnny's like, if you go potty over the gun line, you will be shot.
That's awesome.
See, I definitely fall in the camp of this is a good movie, it's a funny movie. I would not say hilarious movie. Like it doesn't fall in that line to me.
It makes me laugh out loud a lot.
I laughed through the whole movie.
I did, but it's not like I'm trying to think of like a hilarious movie, like 40-Year-Old Virgin or like
See, I didn't like that.
That movie's hilarious.
I didn't like that movie.
Fucking weirdo.
I don't like Steve Carell. I think he's an awful actor.
I still don't understand that statement.
He probably doesn't know he doesn't know I exist. So I wish I was related to him. I'd steal some of his money.
Half-Baked, is that hilarious to you?
I have not seen that movie in a long, long time. I saw it when I was really young, so it probably was hilarious when I was young.
My favorite part in that movie is when they like light the joint and Stoop just like floats up behind them.
Hey,
I heard there
Tim-
was a second
Tim
part
wants
coming
to
out.
know,
Vulture.
did he miss it already? He just got up.
Yes, he missed it.
Yeah, we only have one more episode left.
What episode though?
I just want to be a dick to him. No, I loved it. I don't know if we're talking. I don't know. We haven't asked Jason what his pick was, huh?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, so we'll have to figure that out. But I give it a giant thumbs up.
I still give a thumbs up, yeah.
This one gets 2 thumbs up from me.
Oh,
like this is genuinely one of my favorite.
11.5 out of 6 out of 4.2.
Yeah, that sounds like I would say this gets a 9.5 out of 8 plus 3.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's.
This gets 10 Eddie Murphys over 15 Martin Lawrences.
Martin Lawrence died. He was in a coma.
Yeah.
In this movie?
No,
he
in
was
real
in
life.
real life.
Oh,
He was in a
okay.
coma for a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't look great in Bad Boys 3.
He doesn't act a ton anymore.
No, he just like didn't like physically.
But yeah, he's a little chubbier.
And
Not that, like I
he
noticed
doesn't
that,
look-
but he just looked like I don't know.
he doesn't look super healthy.
Yeah.
Like it's not his weight. It's like he looks kind of ill.
Right.
Like which probably has a lot to do with being in a coma for a couple weeks.
Diabetes.
I am fucking crazy. Just speaking as Eddie Murphy, just in general. If you didn't watch the clips from Saturday Night Live, they're fucking
Oh, the new
hilarious.
ones?
Yeah, because he made his return after 30 years.
Oh
He hasn't
man,
been on Saturday Night Live. He came back to host.
I'll have to watch
And
that.
so they're so funny. It was the highest rated Saturday Night Live in years. I don't know how many, but
Oh, yeah.
years. But he's got Coming to America. They just wrapped filming part 2. He's got Dolomite was fucking funny.
It was a hilarious movie, Coming to America.
That movie is
I
hilarious.
liked it, but Coming to America's not. It's funny, but it's funny in its moments. Whereas Life, I think, is funny almost through the whole fucking movie.
But it's like a cap level of funny to me.
I get that. I get what you're saying.
Like
but
they're not trying to be funny, but it is humorous.
Right.
The whole way through.
I think for me it's
I don't
that
know how to explain
consistent
it.
that consistent level of their dialogue is always funny.
Right.
There's not a moment like there are a few serious moments, but even in the serious moments you're like that's hilarious. Like he's still being funny. He's still dealing with his grief through humor.
I think you're looking for setup jokes. I think it's kind of what
No,
you're
not
talking about.
necessarily.
Because
It's just like
this is just
there are hard-hitting,
consistently
like,
funny.
comedy movies to me. I mean, yeah, because some of them are setup jokes. But like, I'm just saying, like, there was no point at which I was like, even the first time I watched this movie, like, can't breathe, like, double over in laughter. Like, there's not happening.
I don't remember the last time I really did that.
Yeah, there's a
aside
few
from-
movies that are like
But
that.
a lot of that shit that I do that over is like slapstick almost. It's very like environmentally something crazy happens to somebody. or some
Definitely
shit.
the
I'm
things
not-
that make me
there's
double over with laughter
Yeah.
are people getting
I'm not
There's not, a lot of, there's not a lot of jokes where I fucking bust out laughing.
I don't
like
disagree
that.
with you with that, but to me, that's hilarious.
Right.
Where this movie is just like, it's humorous and good. That's
I
how I would put it.
No, I can see that.
It is a good movie. I don't really think it's funny. I don't think it's his funniest. I don't think it's his like second funniest movie. But
I don't know what his funniest movie is.
I do like Coming to America more than this movie.
I don't think
Eddie
I,
Murphy.
it's hard because if I say I don't think I do,
What if I say
it,
daddy
it, al-
daycare?
it almost
Does everybody
did
get upset?
it almost denotes Coming to America, which I don't want to do because that is a fucking funny movie
Yeah.
too. You know, it's hard to judge movies like that because he has made a ton of really funny movies.
How many movies? I don't think he's made a ton of movies.
Raw is his funniest movie.
I mean, if you just want to put it up.
What about Pluto Nash?
No,
That was an awful
No, that was a bad
That was a
movie.
bad movie.
Even Nutty Professor.
He's made a lot of movies, bro.
I like him in Daddy Daycare.
Daddy
I love
Daycare
Nutty
is funny.
Professor.
Here,
The
let's
first
see.
Nutty Professor is hilarious.
Will you figure out your dog thing? Because he won't stop attacking my feet every time I walk. And
That's not gonna happen.
just figure it out.
He's a
I
guy.
haven't figured it out at my house yet, so I don't think it's gonna happen.
So, Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop, Dolomite, Trading Places is a fucking funny
She's
movie.
been stepped on a million times. Okay.
The Nutty Professor, Norbit was awful.
Yeah.
Shrek, that's a funny movie.
Oh my god, that's
Okay.
a funnier movie.
That's a
isn't
funny
it?
movie. But that's because you have an ensemble cast in that movie.
Yeah.
Too.
That's,
We have an ensemble cast in this movie too, sir.
I don't.
yeah,
kind
you
of.
do.
Yeah,
You
you
for
kind
sure do.
Yeah,
The
but
prison
yeah,
is a
two
pretty
people.
ensemble.
48 Hours, that's a good movie. I like that movie a lot. Dr. Dolittle, a lot of people really like. I didn't like it a lot, but a lot of people like
It's a
it.
good kids movie.
The Golden Child,
I
Dream,
personally love. Nobody else does.
Dream Girls, I don't know what that is. That
I
came out in 2006.
Oh, that's the one where he's the manager for the singing group.
Mr. Church came out in 2016. I've
No
never
idea
heard
what
of
that
That's
is.
not a comedy. Really.
No? Oh, okay.
That's where he's like, I don't know, he's like taking care of some woman, like cook. I don't remember exactly.
Bowfinger, that was a funny movie.
That is a pretty funny movie.
Daddy Daycare.
Dolomite.
He already said
Dolomite
that.
was yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I thought it was funny. But again, that's a giant ensemble
That
cast.
is,
There's
yes.
a lot of funny people in that movie. 1,000 Words. I don't think that got a lot of good. reviews.
I've
don't even
never
know-
heard of it,
Yeah, I
so-
don't know what that is.
It's like a shaman he like talks too much
I'm
and
out.
he's too busy for people or something. And a shaman comes and only says he has 1,000 words left in his life or some shit. It's really weird.
Let's make a movie predicated on Eddie Murphy not being able to do what he does best. Sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
Beverly Hills Cop 2, Life, The Professor Clumps, whatever. Harlem Nights,
That's a funny
another
movie.
funny movie. Tower Heist, I thought that movie was funnier than a lot of people gave it credit for, with Ben Stiller and
I think I've seen that one.
there's a couple other famous
I
people in
like-
that movie too. Yeah, I'm right there. I thought it was better than what people thought it was. Meet Dave, I don't know what that is.
Wait, a lot of movies I've never fucking heard of.
Vampire in Brooklyn, I haven't seen that
Funny,
movie.
that
in
movie's
ever.
funny as fuck.
I haven't seen that in forever. Pluto Nash,
I think we established that that movie was god awful.
another 48 Hours. Imagine that. Boomerang, I think a lot of people like
Movie's pretty
Boomerang.
funny, yeah.
I Spy, that movie's fucking hilarious. It's not a good movie, but it's very funny. That movie's funny. All the Shreks, Dr. Dolittle, Holy Man.
Movie.
I don't know.
I think it's where he's like pretending to be like a miracle worker or something like that. I might be thinking
Showtime
of a Steve Martin
with
movie,
Robert De Niro. Triplet. Oh no, that's a movie that wasn't made. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, aside from all the Shrek sequels.
There were a lot of
Beverly Hills
movies on
Cop
that list I've
sequels.
never heard of.
though. I mean, he makes a lot of movies. Like he's fairly prolific even now. He probably makes like 2 movies a year.
Triplets was gonna be a sequel to Twins.
Oh my god.
He was gonna be the long lost third brother.
I would watch the shit out of that
With the
movie.
original two
Yeah,
returning,
With
yeah.
Schwarzenegger and DeVito, I would watch that movie. I would still watch
I
that
would watch
movie.
it if they made it today.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Coming to America too. Very excited for that movie. But he's put out a lot of movies. I think they're all pretty good. But yeah,
Well,
we
they
don't
should
know
be.
the next pop culture classic at this point in time.
We will figure that out and we'll let you know. But past that, looks like we're going to be wrapping up episode 168, talking about our pop culture classic Life. If you have any opinions on it, be sure to reach out to us on social media or find us on the internet at totlb.com to find all the different ways that you can contact us. With that said, I've been Gabe,
I'm Doyle.
I'm Juan.
and this has
Speak.
been another episode of Thinking Outside
Speak.
the Long.
Say what you say, don't
You guys should watch Whip It.
whip it.
Whip it good.
So our next pick is Jason's pick.
No, I
If he
don't give a
pays
fuck
to
who
do it.
Jason is.
Well, he gives us money to do that.
I give you money all the time.
No, you give me money. That's different.
I feel like that you haven't started to begin to tip the balances of how much money he's giving you over your whole life.
Probably fairly accurate. Because kids are fucking expensive. Yeah, my poor ass had 1,000 of them.
Right?
Yeah, smart move.
Hey, you exist because of it, so
I was the first one. You could have stopped at me.
That's true.
talk to your mom about it.
She was present.
Did you watch the outtakes?
I did not actually. I didn't know there were. I'll watch my
Who is Jason?
Putting it on. While he's
I'm
doing
gonna
this shit.
bribe him to tell you guys to watch Quibbit.
Oh, the outtakes. The outtakes are really good.
Think the kind of money they charge in here to hire someone to wash the glass. Look at that. I'm gonna kill you because it ain't. Damn, man.
What is your name again?
Oh, man.
It's me, right?
It's the outtakes.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's me, right there. Come on.
Claude!
You got your one?
Okay.
Let me get that. Yeah, I know it's 1932. Yeah, I was the first one to have it. Yeah. You know, I might be whatever you think I am.
And ain't nobody around me. I said, yeah, 15, 20 minutes. I come up. I deposit my shoe in your hand. How about that, Mr. Bank Teller? I feel like a paper bag. Huh?
36 cases of booze, that's it.
Oh, that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie too. So you can't even say watch around me no more. Say fucking little clock or something.
You say watch again, I'm gonna bust out all your front teeth.
You look like you fixing to say watch, I'ma whoop your ass.
I'm gonna bust your ass, right? Just forget it, man. Watch again.
It would have been great
If it never said,
if when he finally got his watch back,
let's go.
if he would have been like, "Am I allowed to say watch yet?"
I don't be running anyway. Enough shit.
No, man! Strip down! Take them off! Right now!
Stop it. Stop it. I'm gonna tell you. Hey, Bob, just stop it.
What you say? Jiggly. You got funny. Oh, man.
He just starts laughing.
She'll never stop.
I was just spoon shop. I stay with a nigga right now. You tell Melvin to think about me. Concentrate on spit.
Oh, that's spit.
No, he see all that spit. I'm sorry. You come back to New York City, you get back to me. Other than that, get out. Come on, watch these cars, goddamn. Hey, look. Hey, man, you retarded, okay? Come on now, hit that ball. Then they going back to cards. Back to cards. Come on now. Hey, my hand. Hey, watch. Shit, I almost got stunned out here. That boy got God-given talent. God, man. What's wrong? The mustache too big? Give up hope, man. I'm gonna something close to this fucking airplane that's coming over. Maybe I have to loop all this shit. I ain't looking shit. We can get it now, not at all. I'll knock you off those balls. Put it away. Come on. Well done. Look at him.
No.
This ain't my dad's watch. I know his stomach ain't right. I think his stomach was to drop out, right out. Aha! Aha! Here's what you have. I'm gonna take her from my soul and Who you think? Breaking Bad? No, that's another movie.
What is it?
He said, "Would you think I'm breaking gas out here?" Oh no, that's another movie. I gotta call fucking stupid Tim.
Sit down. We'll get down. What are we gonna do?
She heard you wrong.
Do what you can do.
You do you, Doug.
She is part retarded.
Who, Petrie?
Yeah, a couple nights ago, she jumped out of bed and ran full speed into the door. Didn't stop, didn't pause, didn't try to juke. It's a wooden door, it's not a glass door. It's like, goosh. I was wondering if she's had some kind of dream or something, 'cause she was sleeping. And then just got up and just, boom, full speed into the door.
That's funny.
I was like, oh my god. And she acted all surprised.
Can you stop attacking my fucking foot? I swear to God. Oh my God, these animals are gonna piss
Then
me
go
off.
back downstairs.
I don't want to go back downstairs.
Then stop complaining
They're
about that.
listening to Disney princess videos. Stop.
Because they can't find the remote from the Xbox.
Of course.
It's because Ashton took it.
Thought he had two down there.
Oh, you take some.
Why?
Because he doesn't
Oh,
have
the
one in
Xbox.
Johnstown.
The Xbox,
Is there not a remote for the CD down there?
yeah. No, I gotta get another one. They either broke it or lost it or something.
Listen to Tyler screaming last night. It was really funny.
I'm ready whenever, by the way. But you can listen to what she's doing. I'm just letting you know. I don't know where Tim is.
He just texted to let him know when it's good to call in.
I don't see him signed in. I don't know what his name is.
Do
I guess
it now. Do it now.
I'll mess
Calm down, Arnold. You want to do an intro at least?
Yeah. Let me just do this real fast.
It's the wrong movie.
I know.
Good movie though.
It's outside long box on Skype, right?
Duh.
The long box. What?
Such an ass.
There's a picture of Judge Judy doing this. Judge Judy's funny. If you haven't watched Judge Judy, bro, she's funny.
She is.
She should probably be in jail. But
She is a travesty of justice, but yeah, she is funny.
She should be in jail? Is that what you said?
I think any judge who is a TV judge really should be in jail, but she constantly just makes decisions not based on the law. Like, isn't that against the law as
Yeah.
a judge?
No, it's because she's not, that's the how the show it looks, but she's actually an arbitrator. She's not a judge, a real judge. So they agreed to arbitration.
So
That
nobody
makes
has to do what she
so
says.
much
No,
more
they
sense.
do. So, but it's crazy because the show actually pays for it. So whenever if you lose $3,000, you agree to be on the show actually pays that $3,000 for
To
you.
the other person.
Yeah, so you're scot free if you agree to be on the show if you lose.
Huh.
You just had to air your dirty laundry in front of the public.
What up, fuckface?
They can't hear you from there.
Oh yeah, fuckface. Talking
Alright.
me through my mic.
I'm gonna do an intro and then we'll go. We're gonna be doing the second pop culture classic segment.
So,
Am I coming in pretty good?
am
Yeah.
I coming in clear?
Coming in clear.
I'm gonna need you to push noises out of that fuckface of yours.
I
So,
think I can do that.
so favorite TV show, favorite pop culture classic, and favorite comic book.
Cool. I gotta bring up the list I sent you guys yesterday. There it is.
We could read it for
You
you.
want me to send you another Judge Judy gift?
It'd be weird.
I got it. I'm ready. I'm good. Good. Pretty good.
All
I
right.
mean, next time he masturbates, I'll need you to send him another Judge Judy
Wow,
gift.
that was in the intro.
Apparently, we're masturbating to Judge Judy today, and this is episode 169 of Thinking Outside the Long Box.
She's had enough harsh
69
shenanigans.
episode.
Man, never that bitch wasn't a real bitch.
She was a real judge at
She's
some
just
point in
not
her life.
anymore.
I just love how she's up there. You, I don't trust you.
So I rule
Guilty.
against you. Yeah.
Fuck.
You got a face that says I'm guilty.
We're recording.
I don't like
Hey
when you
everybody,
talk
welcome
your
to
mom.
episode 169 of Thinking Outside the Long Box. This is our second year in review episode where we will be talking about our favorite TV shows, our favorite comic, and our favorite pop culture classic. With us on the line, we finally have that lazy piece of shit Tim.
From the
Yeah, I'm
bathroom.
awake, boys. Let's get it.
Fucking 11:40, you lazy bastard.
Yeah.
This is like my first real day off, all peak season. You can blow me.
You sit in the car all day. Shut up.
So do you.
You sell cars all day.
I know.
That's why I said I wasn't working hard, bro.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So what do we start with? Probably our favorite pop culture classic.
Why don't we start with the favorite comic book?
Oh, okay.
Because I did not read
One
a
has
comic
no
book all
choices.
year. So there you go.
He has had a comic book pool all year.
Yes, I have.
How about you, Tim? Let's start with you, because I know you have.
My favorite comic was the comic that John recommended everybody, Hall of Justice. That Once and Future Past. That's been a lot of
Is
fun
that the
to read.
X-Men one?
No.
That is the one where like King Arthur gets resurrected and starts trying to take over the world again.
Nice.
Was that King Arthur's plan to begin with, to take over the world?
Probably. He's
Yeah,
white.
I mean-
More or less.
His wife?
He's
Is that what you
white.
said? Oh, he's white.
Yeah, he's a white European monarch, so probably
Yeah.
going for world domination.
I mean, it's probably not the popular story about that character, but
The fact that
he
his
was
last
rich
name
and
was
powerful in the Middle
Hitler
Ages. So,
is often left out of the histories.
yeah.
Smack the dog.
I can't. It's too far.
King Arthur Adolf Hitler.
Pretty much. But it was a great comic.
Same
I've been really looking forward to each new issue.
Nice. It sounds cool. Like I'm a little bit in Juan's boat where there's just not a ton that I have read this year. So
I have watched way more than I have read.
Clearly.
so for me, my favorite comic book of the year was like an easy choice because they relaunched Conan the Barbarian on Marvel. And
Oh, the one you bitched about the whole fucking time before it came
I
out.
know, right?
yeah,
It's gonna be terrible. They're
Yeah.
gonna mark
you know,
You bitch.
it's
They're gonna
better than I
minimize
was
Conan.
expecting.
$10 this game has that variant.
Which one?
The Venomized Conan.
Ooh, I don't know that I do.
It's probably in your poll.
It probably is. I haven't gotten to pick it up in a very long time. So, FYI, the next time you're there, Tim, can you pick up what's left in my pool?
Yeah, mine too.
Am I just everybody's
Yes.
comic mule now?
Yes.
Yes.
Might as well.
All right.
But no, I actually really liked it. Particularly the Savage Sword run has been really, really cool. So I'm a giant Conan fan, as anybody that's listened to the show for any length of time knows.
And yeah, I dig it.
Dom said his favorite comic book was Undiscovered Country.
Mhm.
Eric Hollis just put in X-Men.
The new X-Men run.
House of X
He
is
just
also
put
my
I've heard
favorite.
it's really, really good.
The House of X leading up to like the new X verse that's out right now, I think was the best. Hickman's run there for a while was the best comic book this year, in my opinion. Followed closely by Immortal Hulk still very good.
Is that the Asian Hulk? With
No,
the
that's-
Mohawk or some shit?
That's
Oh, that's can't think of a joke for that, but no.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the Hulk that pants still fit. He holds out. Because they're small.
Because his wiener small.
Hulk angry, Hulk wiener small.
remember when I used to be such a bitch about this being a comic book podcast? Now we
Yeah.
hardly ever get time to read comic books
I have
anymore.
no time. None.
It's nuts.
I'd rather watch a movie, honestly, or catch up on a TV show or some shit.
I'd
It's not
rather
lack
read a
of time,
comic
that's
book.
a preference.
Yeah, I'd rather read a comic book. I just genuinely don't have time to do it. Like half the time, I don't even watch the shit we're supposed to watch.
Well, I
for the
don't. I
show.
don't. So when I have a free hour or two, I would rather watch something to catch
Yeah,
up
that's
on
a
than read a
preference.
book.
Right.
Because I
that's it.
remember when I came on the show, I wasn't able to read half the shit you guys were, but I was able to watch everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the format has definitely evolved, so to speak.
Yeah, we're way outside the long box now. Can't even see the long box anymore. That's a short box.
That bitch is on fucking Mars
So I'm guessing.
with Arnold.
I'm guessing pop culture
Manhattan.
classic would be the next thing we should probably talk about because the movie discussion will be the longest one. I'm guessing, or the TV show one.
So pop culture classic. Dom chose Roadhouse. Said it's all about Dalton.
True, Nolan's a
His
beast.
name is Dalton.
And Eric chose
No hurt.
all of them except Blade, which is fucking weird.
Like, I
Like,
think a way better shit on that list than Blade.
like I'm surprised it's not all of them except Maniac Cop. Like Blade
Me
seems like
too.
Blade seems like the weird one to not like. I kind of want his input on that at some point. Like, why not Blade?
I feel like when somebody says something like that, no offense to this gentleman,
Eric.
You know Eric.
no offense to Eric here.
I'm saying his
I
name
just
wrong.
can't take
Eric
them
G.
seriously
Hollis.
anymore. It's like when someone's like, I hate the Matrix. I'm like, and like, you're not a real person.
Definitely a Russian bot.
Yeah.
You're definitely a part of the system, aren't you?
Maybe he said that because we talked about Blade with him on the show.
When he was all hammered,
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yankees.
he was completely hammered.
And
Maybe he just doesn't like it because he was like just so fucked up he doesn't
It's
remember.
traumatizing.
He's all never be able to watch Blade again.
Didn't he tell Gabe that it was the best, worst episode they ever recorded?
Yes.
I have a Lost Colorado Springs Comic Con episode that's gonna go to Patreon followers at some point.
Right. Oh, with the guy.
Yeah, with the crazy guy.
The crazy
Yes.
racist
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
the crazy racist guy who like saves children,
Yeah.
but not the British children.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yeah, so that's only gonna go to Patreon supporters.
Oh man, that's awesome. I forgot about that guy.
That guy creeped me out.
Let's just talk about how if we think somebody is too racist, how racist does that person have to be?
No, because that's like, I think we have I mean, that's a joke, but we all have like a sense of like joking racism. That when somebody is like starkly actually racist,
You're like,
it like just
wow.
puts a super cloud of uncomfortability in the room. He's like, we're all joking. He's like, yeah, like them N words. Like, oh,
Gross.
I'm glad you said N-word, by the way.
yeah, I know.
I didn't have to beep it out.
Wasn't he a Holocaust denier too?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whoa, he was also that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Tim must have been drunk too.
No, he
He was
wasn't
a
there.
flat,
Remember, he got
hollow-
there really late.
I know, and
He was
then
a flat,
and
hollow
then
earther
that
who
motherfucker
doesn't
ditched
believe in
us for some
Holocaust.
lame ass party.
That's right.
I believe he went to go sit in a hot tub with another man and two women. It's
Mm.
called a foursome.
No, I think you guys ended up going to the Springs party, didn't you?
Alicia and I, yeah.
Yeah, they went to the party, the after party.
Oh, I thought you guys went and hot tubbed it or
No,
something.
I think the hot tub happened while he was with us.
Yes. Missed out on the hot tub action.
Oh, okay.
Where is your girlfriend? How come she's not giving her pics?
She's behind me. Sweetie, what was your favorite comic book this year? It's going to be something Dark Crystal related because that's
Oh,
almost
never mind.
all she
I
said.
uninvite her from the show.
One hated Dark Crystal so much he says you're uninvited to the show.
The Sandman Dreaming is also really
Nobody liked Dark Crystal here, I don't think, except for
that
him.
Netflix show could have not bored me more
Oh,
unless
okay.
it was named Outlander.
I was wrong. Alicia's pick is Blossom 666.
I never
It's,
heard of it.
It's part of those like more adult Archie comics.
Oh,
okay.
well then I'm fucking in.
I thought
Where
you meant
Cheryl
Blossom like the old
and her
Blossom
brother are
TV
the
show.
Antichrists.
Oh, I like it.
Oh,
That sounds
anything
awesome.
Dark Archie I'm in for.
Me too.
The
Yeah.
Dark Archie
I don't know what
universe is
that
pretty rad.
official universe is called.
I think
but
it's just
I'm gonna
called
call
the
it
Dark Archie universe.
Yeah, I don't know. What is her pick for what have we
Pop
talked
culture
about?
classic.
No, what else have we talked about already?
Oh,
TV show and
movie
movie and trailer.
and trailer.
Movie and trailer. What did you like? Yeah, we're putting you on the spot.
God.
She's like, I just want to clean the bedroom. No, you're right here. You're on the show. They're all waiting. This is riveting podcasting. We're all
we
waiting
can
for you.
see you through the camera, Alicia.
Yes.
Which one?
Darty.
She really liked the Star Wars movie we just saw.
The new Star
Rise of
Wars.
Skywalker. That would be best movie. And probably best trailer.
Alright, we'll give it to her since she's trying to clean.
So she's trying to do stuff.
Yes. She's like, I hate being on the spot. And she hates it when I make fun of her on the show.
She should not listen to the show then.
Oh, she's listened. So what's the next one?
That
What's
was,
the next
that was
pick?
it. Comic book done.
Yep, we're
Wrapped up.
working on our favorite pop culture classics now. Who did it? Oh, we talked about the comments. You had
Yes.
already picked something.
What did I
Tim-
don't think did
Tim
Tim pick
had,
some?
yeah, Tim had picked Children of Men, but
Oh yeah. So go yeah. What was your pick for pop culture classic?
Children of Men. I really like the best worst case scenario for that whole movie, and the detail in every scene is just really creepy, and it has all these like surprise action sequences that seemingly come out of nowhere. My favorite being when oh god damn it, what's the guy's name? The main guy.
Edgefor? Is that his name? No.
Doesn't matter, but when they're doing the ping pong ball thing back and forth in
yeah,
the car, and then out of nowhere her head gets blown off, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then out of nowhere they're being chased by like 30 people with automatic weapons.
it is crazy.
Yeah.
It's good. I
Yeah,
went back and
like that movie
rewatched
is
it.
crazy surreal. Like how quickly shit can go bad.
Such a good movie. Like, I love that movie. It's not my pick, but I really dig that movie.
You have been chosen.
How about you, Juan? What was your favorite?
My favorite out of this list is Willy
Did you read the
Wonka
list
and
of the
the
show?
Chocolate Factory. No, I did not. You want me to?
Probably should.
Oh, okay. So it's a long list, so strap in. These are all of
Strap on.
these are all the pop culture classics we did this year. 1990 TMNT, 1999's The Matrix, 97 Dark City, 97 Event Horizon, 97 LA Confidential, 75 Jaws, 88 Maniac Cop, 2000 Gladiator, 68 Planet of the Apes, 71 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 97 The Fifth Element, 89 Batman, 89 Roadhouse, 84 Revenge of the Nerds, 95 12 Monkeys, 98 Blade, 84 Beverly Hills Cop, 97 Cube, 87 Raising Arizona, 06 Children of Men, 05 Rent, 97 Gattaca, and 79 Mad Max. And then 1999 Life.
Now rank them in order, Tim.
I checked out after Dark City because that movie bored the shit out of me.
As you do me, Sassy.
So your pick was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
My
Factory.
pick is
Talk
Willy
about
Wonka. Out of those, the
Which
problem
is a
is
strange pick to me, Juan. Really?
The problem is I like most of those movies. I'm not gonna lie. Dark City was awful. I didn't like L.A. Confidential. I'm on the fence about Jaws.
On the fence about
Yeah,
Jaws.
you don't remember
What kind
that?
of fucking statement is that?
It's the weird one.
Offense about Jaws.
Gattaca was. I
This
didn't
man
watch
didn't
Gattaca.
like Maniac Cop.
No, I didn't like Maniac Cop. This Willy Wonka probably because it's a movie that I consistently watch. I don't know why, but it's a movie that I traditionally watch every year on Thanksgiving. I have no idea why. It just has happened for the last fucking 15 years of my life that I can remember. And so it holds a little bit of a different place in my heart than the others, even though I like damn near everything on this list. We were talking about the Eddie Murphy movies earlier. There's not a lot on this list where I say, fuck, I don't want to watch this movie. You know what I mean? So it's hard to choose one.
Not a lot of Norbits.
Not a lot of Norbits. But Willy Wonka is probably my favorite out of the year.
What about you, Gabe?
I would have to go. Man, I think I'm gonna have to go for Planet of the Apes.
That's such a good movie.
I freaking love Planet of the Apes.
Such a
Like
good movie.
I love.
It was.
I love the whole old series.
Not that one.
I know.
With the exception of the Tim Burton one, I love the new ones too. Like, and I
like that one too.
Just
I
that.
like it. I don't love it.
Just the experience of watching it with my son and him realizing that they're on Earth and like getting to watch somebody experience that for the first time and not know that the twist is happening because the movie is just so fucking old that he has no idea about it was really cool. And I love Planet of the Apes. It's just a great series of movies. And this is the start of it. It's the oldest.
Even the weird ones.
Yeah, this is the oldest movie that we watched this year too, I think. 68? It sure looks like it.
75, 71. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Doyle? What is your favorite this year?
You know what's crazy? I'm
Oh,
going to interrupt. Is that when you talk about Planet of the Apes now, there's going to be a segment of people who don't know that those exist.
Yeah, that it's a remake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
large segment.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
The office I work in the other day, we talked about it a few minutes ago. Somebody said something where I just started quoting Half Baked. We talked about, and nobody in the office fucking knew what I was talking. Like, not hasn't seen it. They just like had no clue it existed. And I was like, "Fuck, where were you born?" And he's like, 99. I'm like, look at
No, I'm so old.
Doyle is old.
Yeah, old enough to beat your ass. No, I don't know. It's hard because I chose like a third of them.
Which one out of the ones you chose, Doyle?
I mean, it is gonna be one of the ones I chose. For like just
Should we
pure
force Doyle to pick one you
fun
didn't choose?
movie, I might have to side with Dom. That Roadhouse is just
Roadhouse is a great movie.
an enjoyable experience.
It was a fun
from beginning
flashback.
to end.
Like, there's no part of that movie that you're just like, this sucks. Like, the whole movie, you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just-
know. Looking at the Swayze ass cheeks. I don't know.
Amazing.
It's framed so well. I mean, it's perfect 1/3 shot with him in the window, like, staring out to the lake, just thinking about kicking somebody's ass.
You could see the tip just kind of hanging.
Oh boy.
He's all, you know what I should do? Rip someone's throat out.
Feels good. Feels like a good idea.
That movie's so fucking ridiculous.
That's what makes it so good. Is it's so over the top and stupid. They burned down my friend's store for no reason.
It has to be that, or I mean, like, it's so close. It's like that, Matrix, and Fifth Element are like beyond the best movie on that list. I agree with Tim. I think Children of Men is probably one of the best movies on that list. Period.
I don't have a lot of I like The Matrix, but the two sequels that followed came out when I was younger. And so those are the ones that I'm more kind of attached to. I don't like the third one is the worst about
By
all three,
far.
for sure.
Yes.
But I like the second one. The effects are cool. The fight scenes are cool. I think the Matrix gets a lot of love because of what it was when
It was the
came
first.
out, right?
Yeah.
The Matrix 3 had so many failings up to the point where they even forgot they were in the future. Like when the best way to load a mech is to run the bullets out by push cart. I was like, we're not in
They
cool
have
runnings
no
here,
tech.
sir.
They have no tech anymore, bro.
Cool running.
That's a good pop culture classic, by the
It
way.
But
We should pick that.
We haven't done
they
that.
do have lots of tech though. There's tech everywhere. Except like, how do we get these bullets out there? Let's make children
Legs, bro.
push them.
Carts.
Legs.
We're gonna need a push cart derby.
Fifth Element is a classic. That's a good one.
Kiss
It's
my
hard to
egg.
get past that one.
It is.
I see pride. I see power.
So what
I
did
see
you
a
end up
bad I picked a lot of things.
I think you. What the fuck? You said fun.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not the best movie on the list. I do think Children of Men is the best movie on the list, in my personal opinion. But Roadhouse is the most enjoyable movie on the list.
It
From, like,
definitely.
beginning.
Children of Men's a great movie, but you feel sad at the end.
Yeah, you know,
I feel sad through the whole movie.
yeah.
Or
Like,
that, yeah.
Roadhouse definitely was one of the most enjoyable pop culture classic experiences. Life was up there too. I love that movie.
You guys care if I take a shower?
Petri cares.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Oh, she just kicked the shit out of your dog.
It's fine.
That's awesome.
Gladiator was great, but the extra stuff that I've never seen before makes me sad through the whole movie.
I
Yeah.
have to go back and watch that because, like, again, you guys all watched the director's cut and you know it existed.
I didn't know it existed either.
We didn't know it existed till we're like, why the fuck is this movie 3.5 hours long?
We literally, I was like,
Where did
hey
you get that
babe,
ring?
let's watch
Where's
Gladiator
Daniel?
tonight. We have to watch it for the show. It's probably gonna be like an hour. Literally, I was like, it's probably be an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We're in the middle of the movie, and I just pressed the info button, and it's like over 3 hours. I
Yeah.
was like, what? When did this happen?
I think Mel and I had almost the exact same experience, except for I was like, I feel like we've been watching this for a really long time.
Yeah,
And I
was
paused
there.
it and it had like an extra hour to go. I was like,
He's been gladiating for so long.
so much gladiation.
Died.
Gladiator.
Oh man,
That's funny.
A lot of good memories in that list.
dude, pop culture classics I think is one of the better ideas that we've come up with because it gives us a chance to like go back and watch some really fun shit and like some really just great movies.
And then deep dive the hell out of it, whatever it is we're watching or consuming.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes when it's Juan's pick, he's like, I thought it was funny.
That's the only reason I pick it.
Or he's like, we're gonna watch Rent. I'm like, ugh.
I fucking love Rent.
It's alright. In 5 more years, Juan will pick Cats.
No,
nobody's picking.
We ranted about that for a good like 10 minutes.
We definitely already talked about how none of us have any interest in cats.
Oh, thank God.
And it's got a giant cast in it too. There's a lot
Dude,
of
there's a
famous
lot
people
of-
in that movie.
Idris Elba is in
Yeah.
it as a cat that apparently gives them like catnip or
It's
something.
good
and
that
makes them
nobody can tell it's
disappear.
him.
You can tell exactly who they are because they have people faces. Oh, it's disturbing as fuck.
Hopefully he's the next James Bond.
Who is?
Idris
I said
Elba.
hopefully. I didn't say he
Idris?
is. Yeah.
You know, I used to think that, and then I watched Hobbs and Shaw, and I don't think so.
I mean,
That's Hobbs and Shaw.
and I like Hobbs and Shaw.
I like
So
Hobbs and
fuck
Shaw
yourself.
too. That
Yeah,
movie.
Malone, it's still garbage.
I didn't say it was good. I just said I really liked it.
Don't make me get another Samoan out here and dance for no reason.
I was like, it's The Rock and Roman Reigns. They're
Yeah.
gonna fight people using
Sticks and twigs, bro.
That's rad.
I loved it.
I was like, we're gonna shut down their guns. I was like, why didn't they just run them the fuck over? We're all just standing in the field going, and I was like, you all have 4-wheel drive. You can end this right now.
They were respecting their traditions.
Yeah, that's
Right.
stupid when you go to kill somebody.
Gotta shout at him first and do tribal chants.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't count.
It does not count.
They try to run him down, all of a sudden Vin Diesel comes flying by.
That would have been amazing, by the way. Holy shit, it's Dom!
Or Triple X, we don't know.
basically the same film
Yeah.
franchises.
Those two are
Is
very.
the giant muscle car rolls up and our Dom steps out. Oh shit, it's Dom! Right, motherfucker.
Just eating a burrito.
Eating burrito, wearing a HOJ shirt.
His fritangas.
His fratangas.
What's next?
Next
TV show.
is TV show, which is probably the one that. So as
Nobody from online picked one?
No, they did. That was the first two that I did.
yeah,
Oh, Jason didn't pick one?
Jason hasn't done anything that
Yeah.
I've seen.
he hasn't commented.
Roadhouse was Dom's, and all of them except Blade was Eric's.
A bunch of people liked the post, but nobody commented.
Yeah. They'd have to spend time away from their busy just scrolling through social media.
Let's see what everyone else is up to first, and then I'll get back to it.
Couldn't
Right.
stop typing things.
So the last one is TV show,
Yep.
and like as I feel like as our show has kind of, as Tim so eloquently put it, evolved. I feel like television has become a much bigger part of like the show. I think we watch a lot more of it and talk a lot more about TV and movies than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to hear what you
This
guys
is
say.
Trump's thinking outside the long box.
Oh,
I don't know what that
no,
means.
that's
Wow.
wrong.
We've been dumbed down.
Audio will grow with all cast members.
Everybody hates that statement.
I know.
So first off, Dom's favorite television show, Mandalorian. I don't think anybody's surprised by that.
Nope.
Eric's favorite TV show is The Boys, which was really high on my list. There was a lot of really good comic book TV out there this year. I know Tim's, but I think Tim should tell us Tim's.
My pick was The Mandalorian as well, which is a surprise to me, even me, because I loved Watchmen, but Mandalorian just really came out of nowhere and surprised me with how good it was.
It was so like
Mandalorian.
it just hit. Like everybody knew it was coming. There was some hype behind it, and then all of a sudden, when Disney Plus hit, it fucking blew the roof off of the whole shit. Like that was all anybody could talk about.
All of that, what Juan just said, was exactly what I was about to say. Like, I was like, oh, another Star Wars property. Cool.
My
Hopefully
critique
they
is I
don't fuck
think
it up.
that's
No, they did
only.
not fuck it up.
My critique is I think that's only 70% of its audience. And that don't get me wrong, I love the show. I think it's good, but it's a slow burn. Like it is not.
It does not progress very quickly.
Yeah,
and
like-
I like that.
I do too, but I know
Yeah.
a lot of people don't. So like I feel like a lot of like the fanfare is simply fanfare, which makes me afraid for it in the future slightly.
I liked
But-
it because the slow burn doesn't take a long time. It's not a movie
No,
where
no,
I'm
no.
like where it's like 2 hours and then something happens. It's like I think they're like 40 minutes or some shit like that, 45
Yeah.
minutes, something like that.
30.
So
I
it
think
actually
they're
goes pretty quick.
But I feel like I feel like I was reading. This is the best show ever. Like 2 episodes in, and fucking nothing had happened yet. Like I was like,
Because it looks cool, bro.
Baby Yoda.
It,
Which is
it
not a
helped my
baby
interest-
Because of Baby Yoda, bro. What'd you say, Tim?
So it helped my interest, like the old anime series Cowboy Bebop, where it's very like thing of the episode, like, but there is an
It's a
overarching
monster of the
story
week.
that slowly evolves over the course of the series and then comes to a head in the final episode.
I haven't watched the
Oh.
final one yet.
Neither have I.
Neither have
So I was just like, hell yeah! Everything about this like harkens back to the things I used to love about watching TV series.
See, this show doesn't do to me what like my favorite TV shows do, which is like I have to watch it the day it comes out.
It
But
does-
I do like it.
The
It
problem is,
definitely-
I don't know. Don't the times that it came out change
It
and the
seems like
days and shit?
My updates for my phone definitely change.
Yeah, because that's hard for me. So I just started I let it go like 3 weeks, and then I was like, all right, I'll catch up now.
See, that's typically how I watch TV, anyways. So I don't think there are any shows where I'm like, it came out today, I need to watch it tomorrow.
That is very typically how I watch TV, but that's because most TV's not my favorite TV. But like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, every day they came out, I'm fucking watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That show's amazing.
The Walking Dead comes out, I watch The Walking Dead. Like, very
do watch it
rarely do I fall behind in that show. Same thing with Watchmen. I watched like every episode the day it aired, pretty much. But yeah, Mando's still good.
How about you? What was yours, Juan?
Mine was probably still The Mandalorian as well. It's the same thing, you know. I didn't even see the hype when it came out until it came out. I didn't see it beforehand. You know, I think we talked about maybe the trailer like a long time ago,
Yeah.
and then really nothing up to that point. I will tell you that I think this did not come out in 2019, but I watched it in 2019, and The Exorcist from Fox was fucking awesome. I just
It is a
binged,
very good show.
I binged like 6 or 7 or 8 episodes of it, and it's so fucking good. I definitely recommend you going back and watching that show if you have not watched it.
Nice.
It's
I'll have
really
to check it out.
Recommend. And again, I don't think the fanfare happened from anybody that we know. Everybody that we know is like a Star Wars fan.
Right.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, all of a sudden, everyone was a Star Wars fan. I'm just like,
You're like, weren't you that dude that called me a nerd in high school?
yeah, I feel like that's.
I
where it
think
got a little
I
bit
think
off.
some of it honestly is misplaced hopeful love for Skywalker, even though it got a ton of love still from people who actually watched it.
Right.
But I think some of those people were aiming their love at like, fuck, this is better than what we're seeing on the big screen.
Right.
And I think some of that has to do with that. The bigger audience is kind of coming towards Disney Plus to watch The Mandalorian.
I do think that was a big part of what got so many like just random everyday people hyped about it. Is a lot of people subscribe to Disney Plus for totally different stuff, and then they plastered Mandalorian all over the face of it, and they're like, all right, let's check this out. Holy shit, this is really cool. Like, there's definitely people that their first exposure to Star Wars is going to be Mandalorian, and then they're going to go back and watch Phantom Menace and be like, wait, what the fuck?
Right?
Phantom Menace is so bad.
This is very, very westerny. Like it's in the music, it's in how he walks and
How
shit.
it's shot.
It
Yeah.
looks super Western
It's
Star
like turning
Warsian.
into Serenity.
It's funny because it is. It's
Turning
very
into Firefly.
It's
real
very
slowly.
much so Firefly. It's very much so Lone Wolf and Cub. It's very much like, you know, there's so many different things that it draws on, like the Japanese movies that turned into westerns, like Yojimbo versus like Fistful of Dollars and Seven Samurai versus Magnificent Seven. It has that like Japanese to Western feel to it. Like it's a really, really well made, super entertaining show. I can't wait to. I haven't watched, I think, like the last 2 episodes, and I was trying to watch them last night, but instead we watched the last episode of Watchmen. So
The last 2 episodes have a very Seven Samurai. What's that other the Western adaptation?
Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, it has a very that kind of feel. Like they're holding out against overwhelming odds. I don't want to spoil it, but it's
Yeah.
so good.
Shut your mouth. Shut your whore mouth, Tim.
Shutting. John Favreau does it again.
Favreau.
Favreau. However you pronounce his name.
Favreau.
Somebody's screaming now.
Yeah. Right now, Stephen King is literally having a meltdown.
Is
Who?
there a Death Star in this movie? I need
Who's
to
having
know.
a meltdown?
Please
Holy
edit
shit.
that out.
Who?
Sorry, I haven't thought about him as his alter
Why you
ego
gotta
for
delete
such
that
a
now?
long time.
I know, fucking John Still. That's who we're talking
That's
about.
what I said, John
Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
Why'd you
Yeah.
beep it out before?
Where's that motherfucker? He's supposed to be on
He
this,
said
wasn't
he couldn't.
He said he couldn't.
said
He's gonna send us a pre-recorded message from the outhouse.
From the outhouse.
I assume that's where he
Is that
records.
the name of the strip club he works at?
Oh, that's funny.
Things about to get shitty.
What was your pick? You didn't give us your pick.
Yeah, we haven't got that far yet.
It's so random. Is it? It is I think it's a tie between Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Walking Dead.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine almost got canceled, didn't it?
I think it
They,
might
like,
be
brought it
canceled
back.
right now.
No,
did
but
get
they brought it
canceled.
back, I think.
Yeah.
It got canceled on one
And then got brought
network
back.
and
Right.
got brought back by another network.
And maybe canceled again because it's been a long time since new episodes came out.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well,
I like Terry Crews. I haven't watched that show.
That show is funny.
It's funny.
As fuck.
I love that show. Every episode of it's so good.
I started rewatching that with my Alicia.
I've rewatched it
was
like
so funny.
twice. It's good.
That show makes me consistently laugh.
Yeah.
Like you would probably
Terry loves
really,
that.
really like it.
Terry
Terry
Crews.
Crews
Terry
is
Crews
amazing. Andy
hilarious.
Samberg is
Terry
amazing.
Crews needs more of his own shit.
Who's the what is the actor that plays the captain? Do
I
you
don't know
his
the
name?
actor's name, but he does
But
an
he
amazing
is
This is
job.
my vote now.
Yeah.
He's so funny because he's so serious, like
Deadpan.
all the
There's a
time.
new definition of deadpan.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
His dog's name is Cheddar, and that's
Yeah.
also funny
And
to
he's
me.
gay.
Yeah, he's a
The dog is gay?
No, he's a gay
Oh.
black.
Yeah,
He's
gay
a-
black
he's
police
also gay.
captain.
He's a gay black police captain. But it's how when we complain about oh, he's just gay for the sake of being gay or whatever.
This character's not
This
that.
makes sense. Like
Huh.
it totally makes sense, and it builds so much of his storyline and makes him like so much more of a character that you want to be engaged with, and it's really funny.
You know, a pop culture classic just came to my mind while you were talking.
What's that?
Police Academy.
Oh, God, these movies are so bad.
It's so funny.
I remember the guy who makes all the noises.
Yes.
How many of us fucking tried to make those noises? Like
Still do.
immediately after watching that.
Not very good. Been trying to perfect my dolphin for years.
Mel's got a really good dolphin, but I think she's asleep.
Whoa.
You
That was
said
pretty decent.
you said Walking Dead was another one.
Yeah, Walking Dead. It remains good, man. Every, even the weeks that fail, I know like the next week's gonna hit extra hard. Like I feel like that's one of just the best written shows on television. Even though Watchmen was really great, Watchmen I almost categorize as a different thing. Almost. The production value is so fucking huge. It's on HBO. But I love Swamp Thing too. I got no love.
No love. They canceled that bitch before I think it ever came out.
Before it
did.
is out. Yeah.
Before the second episode came out.
They announced that it would only be one season when the second
But
episode
if
was
you go
released.
watch it, it's a great show. Like I got canceled for other reasons, but
Yeah.
Because they're
really
stupid.
good. And it looks amazing. Swamp Thing looks amazing in it, which is hard to do. Hard to do.
Well, my choice is in that other category, I guess, because my choice is Watchmen. I just finished watching it last night. Genuinely
Can't disagree with it.
one of the best fucking TV shows I've ever seen. Like, just period. Not just this year, but like this. If they don't make a second season of this, this is going to be another one of those shows like Firefly, where people missed it when it was first coming out, and then they rewatch it like later down the line, and they're like, holy shit, how have I never seen this? Like, that was genuinely one of the coolest things I've ever
The
watched.
Watchmen, even though it's totally a TV show, feels more like a
Long movie.
like a mini series
Yeah.
to me. Like because it's so put together, like it's so polished.
Oh, just the writing, the way it twists and turns, like
Yeah.
The
Westworld too. HBO just makes good shit.
HBO does make really good TV.
I forgot about Westworld.
Westworld's still good. Well, it's a slow burn too, though.
Mhm.
It's not.
Still waiting for season 3 to come out. I buy those when they come out.
It's good, man. Like Watchmen is hard for me to think of anything else that even comes close to
The
it.
problem is with the second season of Watchmen, I don't think Lindelof is going to come back. That he's the reason why. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm 100% sure if Damien Lindelof was like, "Hey, we want to make a second season of Watchmen," I guarantee you HBO would say yes. But he's the one who has said, if they make it, maybe I'll step back and let somebody else take the reins and things
Yeah.
like that. He just doesn't. It doesn't seem like he wants
He-
to make another season.
Well, and it ends.
Again, imprison these people.
The end is perfect. Like the end leaves it open for another one, but
Doesn't
wraps
have
it
to.
up in like such a way that it doesn't have to, and I like it. I like it that way. Some people probably found it kind of unsatisfying, but I thought it was fucking awesome.
The only part of this movie I found unsatisfying is the explanation of why Manhattan had to die.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried to just kind of fork it in there last minute. To me, which felt bad. But
I didn't think so. I think I felt like it made a lot of sense.
that
But
why he had to die, I don't think they explained it at all. Like he could just not be there.
well,
I think there are more reasons to Manhattan dying than what we know
I
based off the
absolutely,
show alone.
I think so too. I think
it's-
that's why they
if
failed.
I think if they move on to a second season, I think the writers are like, fuck, how do we write a compelling story where one character can't just snap his fingers and fix everything at once? It's kind of hard to write a television show around that.
Oh, I don't disagree, but when you get your wheelbarrow full of money and start a writing, I expect you to deliver.
True. It was always about those wheelbarrows.
But what was I say? I don't think he is dead. I think it's gonna reopen season 2. She walks on water and then he puts himself back together and she falls in the water. It's a funny moment. I think we move on.
He's just like, splash.
Splorge.
Splish splash, splurge. Oh man! Turns out she's pregnant with Rorschach. The return of Rorschach.
That would be weird.
Rorschach the Return.
Rorschach 2.
Maniac
Comes
Rorschach.
out, it's a baby without a face, just a weird Rorschach face.
How does his mask do that?
I definitely
Hashtag
want to see
nightmares.
more of the Russian cop and Looking Glass, though. Like, those two characters were like
They should get a spin-off buddy
super,
cop.
yeah, a super underutilized thing. Like,
That would be amazing.
oh man,
Well,
that
Comedy
sounds
buddy.
like our year wrapped up.
that's it.
Did you talk about Letterkenny though?
No, nobody likes Letterkenny.
Everybody likes Letterkenny.
Letterkenny gets an honorable mention from being Gabe, I feel.
Probably.
There were better things, but Letterkenny it's like your safe place. It's always there, and it's always funny, and it's always good.
It always gives me the laughs.
Correct. Texas size 10-4, good buddy.
Fucking pheasant. Oh man. So,
You'll still hear our listener interaction episode. When
Well,
is
no,
this
so
gonna
I
come
was-
out?
I was thinking, what's one thing that you're really looking forward to next year?
One thing?
Yeah, just like what's a thing that's coming up? Doesn't matter. Movie,
personal?
TV show, yeah, personal life event. Like, what's something you're looking forward to next year?
I hope this is the year we interview Kevin Smith.
That'd be really cool.
That's my hope. So when I started
Do it,
Toyota,
Juan. Make it happen.
when I started Toyota, they made me write goals, which is fine, I don't care. But they wanted a personal goal too, which I thought was kind of cool. They gave a fuck about what we did in our personal lives, and that was my goal for the year. Is to-
Or
to
they're
make
tricking
it.
you into thinking they give a shit about
Ah,
what you
but maybe they do. They
just don't even read that page,
they-
just throw it away.
they seem to care from the small amount of time I've been there.
Or just making sure you're not writing down, like, murdering someone.
Yeah, murder dealership.
But that's my goal. I'm trying to make it happen this year.
That'd be awesome.
What's your goal for the year? Where I believe someone took my stapler. I was told to keep it at a reasonable volume.
How about you, Tim? What's something you're looking forward to?
Mostly video games. There's a lot of badass video games coming out next year that I'm really excited about.
Diablo 17.
Diablo
I don't
4
think
is
Diablo
probably
4 is
not
around
next
for
year.
another like 5 years, but definitely the next
Path of
Doom.
Exile
And
2.
The next Doom?
yeah, there's a new Doom coming out next year, and they did like a remaster of Warcraft 3, which was a huge game for me as a kid. So they're doing like an HD remake of it, and that's supposed to come out sometime like middle January. So I'm pretty excited for that too.
Yeah, like I said, Path of Exile 2. Since Tim's not talking about it. Looks super
Hell
good.
yeah, it does look good.
What are you looking forward to, sleepy ass?
That fucking Benadryl I took before I came over here was like beating my ass. I'm not even tired, I just can't keep my eyes. I fall asleep. I don't know. There's like a lot of new shit coming out. I'm looking forward to where they go with the Star Wars universe, if they're going to continue it.
I heard that it's going to, if they do it, it's going to
They do
rely more on your side or new characters.
See, I want them to do like more with Han Solo's, even though I didn't originally love the idea of Solo.
I really liked Solo.
I loved Solo, but I didn't originally love the idea of it.
Oh, okay.
At first I was like, leave him be. He's soloed enough. But I want to see like where that character goes now, since they like, you know, put Darth Maul in it and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm like, oh, what happens here?
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
where the original, like the two guys that finished up Game of Thrones, they were supposed to be working on like a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy for Star Wars.
I think they left.
I think they got fired, actually. I think Disney saw how horrible a job they did with Game of Thrones and gave them the boot.
Are there any other Star Wars anything coming out next year? Just Mando.
I think just Mandalorian's really the
I
only
think there's
thing
another
about-
animated series coming out. Like
Oh, the
another
Clone
season of
Clone
Rebels or
Wars, isn't
something.
it? Oh yeah, it might be the
Rebels,
Rebels.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Is next year wrapping up the Griswold shit?
The Griswold shit.
Well, that's not what I meant to say.
Another
The new
Christmas
Harry
vacation
Potter.
coming out.
Another vacation. Harry Potter. Oh, Grindelwald. Is what you were
Grindelwald.
trying to say. I don't know. I don't think they've started that yet.
The Griswolds in that universe. Just get tasered instantly.
What are those called?
Fantastic Beasts.
There you go. Let's see.
No.
Let's see what Google says.
Consult the Google.
Doyle doesn't even know what he's saying anymore. Like
No,
he's
it's
literally falling asleep.
Poor Doyle.
Fantastic Beasts 3 has a release date of November 12th, 2021.
Fuck.
Oof, two
So,
more
2
years.
years.
Damn it.
So long.
No, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Coming to America.
Uh,
I don't know if that's coming. I don't know if that's coming next year, but it's done being filmed.
This just said 2020 for it.
So I'm sure
Do you
there's.
think- Why do you think they're taking so long to come
oh, is
out?
Deadshot 2020?
So that they
I don't know.
don't fuck it up.
I
I feel like they're just
I guess
waiting
it kinda has
for
to.
Dumbledore to finally age up and look old.
Well,
Gabe, what about you?
So
old Dumbledore was
What about you, Gabe?
I'm definitely looking forward to
No, they're redoing Doolittle with Downey Jr.
Yes. That actually looked kind of cute.
I'm definitely looking forward to the Black Widow movie. That's supposed to come out in 2020. I
I'm not
know
really looking forward to
I know a lot of people aren't super excited about it, but I'm interested to see what they do because this is going to be like the first step in the next, like, you know, the next arc of the Marvel
I'm
universe.
way more interested
Yeah.
in the shows. You know,
That's what
Black Widow's just a character that just doesn't appeal to me really all that much.
So that's what I said a lot about Ant-Man, and they ended up being like really surprisingly good.
Right.
And I'm hoping that this does the same kind of thing.
The trailer looked good though.
Because there aren't a whole hell of a lot of Marvel movies that aren't good or that are like really, really bad.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this ends up being like a really good
I got
thing.
all of them for Christmas.
Nice.
All of them?
Yeah.
That's
it's
crazy.
Like what pack is it? Like a 30 pack of DVDs or something like that, Alicia?
Balls, that's a lot of DVDs.
Yeah, everything from the first like Hulk and all that shit all the way through.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I have all that stuff, but I bought it slowly as they came out.
I think the other thing that I'm really looking forward to is seeing just kind of what new like television is going to be coming out because I haven't seen a lot of stuff about like new shows yet.
Right.
And there always ends up being some cool things. Like I know that the Lord of the Rings show is I think supposed to start coming out in 2020.
Consult Google.
And I'm excited to see like what they do for the Marvel shows, what they do for the Disney, like the Disney Plus shows, like the like that Jeff Goldblum show has been amazing. And
Oh,
there's a lot of like really cool stuff on Disney Plus.
There's like I don't know if they're leaked air quotes, but there's behind the scenes photos of the Falcon and Winter Soldier show like leaking on the internet already, and that looks decent. What I'm seeing looks good. Don't know what's happening in any of the pictures, but it's got my attention.
So this says, which is completely wrong, the release date for the Lord of the Rings TV series is November of 2019.
Oh,
Oh,
nailed
you guys
it.
ever been watching it?
When did that article come out? In like 2015?
Coming soon. Is Avatar finally getting its second movie?
I don't know if it's
when
in 2020,
I don't
but
think it's
it
in
is.
2020. I know they're making it.
I could give a fuck less about that Ferngully
Isn't there a
reboot.
teaser for that out already, or am I imagining things?
I think you're imagining.
No, it's like a fan made trailer.
Oh, okay, that's what I saw. That.
Just like the
I
new
remember
Harry
seeing
Potter
somebody
movie
post
that's not
something.
Griswold.
So this says 2021. This other article
Oh,
for
okay.
Lord of the Rings. I'm excited for. I'm always excited for Comic Cons.
Yeah.
Excited to see what San Diego brings again.
Yep.
We'll see if we do the last one. Who knows what the fuck we're doing at that point.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, but we'll see how being on 4th of July impacts Denver Pop Culture Con. But I'm still excited. That doesn't deter me.
Yeah,
So-
it's gonna be weird, but it'll be fun.
Our calendar comes out,
Our calendar is already out.
Yeah,
but I mean,
you
it,
can buy it now.
it will be like officially key
It'll.
days.
He means
Oh
it'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
2020.
It will be. Yes. People will
You
have
can
their notes
use
on it.
It's like getting pumped for a peg of toilet paper you can't use yet.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
that
don't
means.
know that that's a thing that's ever happened to me.
No, me neither.
Weird.
On that note, we should wrap this up before Doyle passes out.
Well, we got one more depth fucking thing,
I'm
don't
gonna
we?
get up when we get.
What?
We still have to do the listener interaction.
I know this
Excited about
episode.
No, I know.
Yeah. So yeah, with Doyle falling asleep.
Should we get everybody else's picks that emailed or commented?
Only a few people did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our listeners didn't interact very well.
Maybe we'll talk with them more here in a little bit.
Do we have a mailing list?
We do not.
Kind of. It's small.
Texting list?
No.
Sexting list?
This has been
I wonder
episode
if we'll get a lot of people's phone numbers for a
169. No, this has been episode 169 of Thinking Outside the Long Box. Please find us.
We're gonna
on
hit episode 200
very soon.
next year.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not next.
That's not how
I
that
may be
works.
sleeping, but it does not go 169.
Next year, asshole.
But yes, be sure to find us on the web at totlb.com where you can purchase our boudoir calendar for 2020. And you can also find all of our social media places so that you can tell us what your picks of 2019 were, and we would love to see those. Until next time, which will be our fan interaction show, I've been Gabe,
I'm Doyle.
I'm on.
and this has been an
I'm Tim.
episode. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Tim, you weren't sitting there. This has been an episode of
This is
Thinking
mine.
Outside the Long
Are
Box.
your legs falling asleep yet?
Bye.
I'm a ghost.
It was awesome.
Alright, that's funny.
They need to make non-sleepy allergy medicine.
They do make non-sleepy allergy
Does
medicine.
it work?
Yeah, it's called Albert. And
That shit hit me like a match. I was not tired at all, and then I was like, can't stay awake.
and then Zyrtec. Zyrtec worked great for me. I'll take that shit at work and be fine.
Zyrtec makes 10% of people drowsy.
Benadryl murders me.
Claritin, dude.
Claritin.
I think we can bring Tim in on the live, can't we?
I just know I've
Facebook
tried the
does
other ones
that.
and they don't really
I
work
think
very
so,
well.
yeah.
So-
I just
But I don't
never.
know
If you want to
I
hang
tried
up, and if we can, we'll bring you back.
Claritin works best on
I might have to dip out for live now.
Oh, all right.
I'm glad that I made it for at least one of the episodes.
Cool.
I will. I'll let you know if things change though. I might be.
That's the
able
only
to
reason I take Benadryls, because
All right,
like that's the day I take
All right, Tommy.
See
it.
ya.
But it also
Morning,
makes
guys.
me go to bed.
Bye, Tim. Thank you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bill and Ted. I forgot about Bill and Ted.
Oh, I am looking forward to Bill and Ted. So I'll just leave us going on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay. I'll have to put the. I didn't bring my shit. I didn't have a chance to charge it.
Oh, I can.
So
I can do
I
that.
can just put the. I can probably spin this and just put it like right.
No, it's okay. I'll turn this off.
Are you chewing?
All right, YouTube, Twitch. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, bitches.
Go into Facebook.